This is London with Bitcoin Spike. We're going to be talking about the open in the market in terms of New York markets about to open. We have a big ticket item to discuss today. That's going to be Tesla is going to be opening down after a disappointing call. Wasn't exactly the earnings, but a disappointing call. Elon throwing some fuel on the fire for the bears. We're going to discuss that specific open, where we are at on the weekly. Particularly on the weekly, you need to note that after the cross under the 20 moving average, it looks like this specific line here. Let me go ahead and bring this over just a touch. In terms of that orange line, we are going to open at a target completion for the bears. Congratulations, anyone who shorted this specific level. You knew we were up against, and I'll say it was a tough call because we were up against the level of support. We had to discuss it, but it was one of those situations. Yesterday, I let you know before the earnings were released, do not trade this level of support if it was going to hurt, period. So we are in good shape. Okay, technically it was a level of entry, but we're just gonna say don't trade it if it's going to hurt because it's that unknown. The numbers themselves weren't that bad. Right, as we look at this, bam, right into the target. Congratulations to anyone who traded, let's just say the classic over-under technique that we are accustomed to. Let's back up. Let's take a look at NVIDIA real quickly as we look at that potential pickup. Now, very interesting positioning here for NVIDIA. The shorts in terms of the specific preceding the level of support break down on the topping formation. Let's look at that 15-minute. I want to stay on the 15-minute. The 5 minutes close, but let's stay on the 15-minute for a moment. You're opening up higher, okay, significantly in terms of that 1.31% and 7% drop for Tesla. Again, don't trade it if it's going to hurt. Those were the exact words yesterday. And again, I'll remind you, this is London, former hedge fund owner. What is the ticket here? You're at an 8 to 10 second delay, bottom line, on this stream. So of course, it is not intended for you to trade on at all. Okay, you understood? You understand that. We appreciate that feature of YouTube. It gets us out of the woods in terms of you relying on the specific stream. We're going to go over the technicals. Let's look at the technicals and see what we can bring over into the purview, particularly of Bitcoin, our mainstay. We saw an engagement this morning on the top pro line, which traded to the downside. You're seeing that engagement of the 200 weekly moving average, bam, to the upside. If you are bullish over that 200 weekly, you've done well, 1.43% over a period of 12 hours. Congratulations to everyone trading Bitcoin, our mainstay. And we'll look at the volatility in terms of the breakdown. Where are we at on, and go back to we want the weekly. I'm just going to say we want the weekly in terms of the specifics. And my fire and ice, we're going to take a look at that fire and ice on the weekly. Okay, we're going to take a look at that bottom side band. Thus far, Tesla with a nice pickup thus far for the bulls. If you are in the market and decided I'm going to go ahead and get the drop, if you got the drop, you're already up. Let's just look at it from the point. It's not an easy pickup, but you're at 2% in the money on the pickup, with the bears being satisfied for the most part. Now, what do we have on Tesla? The last thing anyone wants to discuss is a throwback on Tesla. Let's look at I like the 15-minute, guys. Let's stick on the 15-minute. It's been such a key consideration. As we look at Tesla and the specifics here, let's note one feature. As we look at this on the 15-minute, the constriction that we were in, symmetrical triangulation, I'm going to note an upside target here, bottom line. I'm going to note the upside target with some compromising features. Without a doubt, we have some compromising features. If we have a target, I always like to say that we need a pattern to get us to our target. I think you'll all confirm that. Looking at the level of support pick up, this was the dynamic in play on open. You can say, well, how could I catch that move? How could I have caught the drop and expected anything to actually pick up? We will shout out to the VIP. I say the #1 trade group. If it's a fact, I don't need to keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it because it is a fact. So congratulations to the VIP. It's just a fact. It is the way that we roll in the market. We are small. We are, guys. We have the talent. Is the bottom line. We have the talent. This is how you would have known in terms of that pickup. If you have this on your chart as VIP, boom, 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 boom. There's your target to the downside, nicely engaged, level of support, pick up. If you traded this in the back, you had this specific chart, framework, easy pickup, not necessarily, but is it something that's playing out in terms of the chart action? Absolutely. Congratulations to C, giving you a heads up in terms of that carry down. Let me get rid of this side screen, but that's in our Slack. You guys know Slack in the back. Witness Slack is a communication protocol. So looking at this level, intending to pick up on the level of support again, what are we looking at? The specific carry down feature. We had done this a number of times during this preceding week. I hear NVDA is in the mix on that 15-minute. We want to pay attention. Yeah, absolutely. As we look at the 15-minute, this is where I was leaning this morning in the back. The struggle here was the notion to the VIP. And just again, to said extent that we can catch every move in the market, it's not required. What we want to do is maximize our probability and our tactical approach so that the moves that we catch essentially have the highest probability and that highest payoff that we can capture in the market. Absolutely. The important thing about NVIDIA was going to be the following. Let me take a look at NVIDIA in terms of what we covered before the actual open. And I want to cover this if I can bring this up. Here we go. What was being assessed on NVIDIA, and you'll take a look at this in terms of what we shared beforehand, okay, to our specific VIP. And I'm just going to say that to you. I'm talking to you, VIP. What's up? Good morning. But taking a look at this was before open. You'll see the orange line here on NVIDIA. This was the specific orange line open as we were up into this level. What was the commentary? What is being assessed on open for NVIDIA are the shorts waiting at the prior breakdown level. Pre-market orange is there. It'll trade short with a stop. We'll go over the exact entry possibilities, etc. Looking at that live balancing and managing multiple. I'm going to tell you guys this: multiple assets at once is never easy. What did we hit into? We hit into the specific fire and ice levels, definitely on the 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute, and your lower levels. So to say that immediately upon open it was an engagement as a short, given this dynamic, we would need to really look into the level in terms of the differentiation here. If we were at off by 0.2 or less percent, if we were off by, from those lines you got in the back, if you were off by, just look at this and assess this, gauge this, about 65 cents on $429.47, looking at about off by 0.15%. You need to be the judge of that in terms of what you need to do to get picked up in the market. We, normally want to throw a little bit of an aggressive slant on something, but if you did pick up a short, congratulations. You maxed out at a 1.2% move. Now, easy pickup. Would we say that's just absolutely an easy pickup? No problem. With a stop. Absolutely. This would have been a situation in terms of execution. It's important because looking again, what is being assessed for NVIDIA are the shorts waiting at prior breakdown level. Okay. And what's that prior breakdown level? Level of support engagement, prior breakdown level. And the nuance there is that we're typically in something that we would look at needing to break out over the level of resistance. Is there a best pattern on NVIDIA? Is that exactly how we like things structured? Essentially, we have a volatility expression, but it is so aggressively slanted to the downside. Let's go to Tesla real quickly. Let's pick back up on a re-engagement of that level of support. Now, what do we have below? Let's just take a look at below. After you have this original carry down level of resistance to support, feature, and again, I just want to go through a few of these charts. You may say, yeah, but we had 5 or 6 charts in the back. I just want to say, well, you had 5 or 6 charts in the back. What are the other charts telling you? But this was a nice level of engagement. Boom. Level of interest. Yes, on Tesla. Level of interest paid what? 2%, right? So if you look at this level of interest carry down feature on the 4-hourly express, this paid 2% on open. So very nice to look at that not only as a target for whom? The bears. Yes, a target for the bears, but also a level of engagement, just expressed level of resistance, carry down level of support. So the opportunity was there to trade ops on what? On NVIDIA. You got it. Shorts will engage with what? With a stop. Okay. If you didn't catch it, if your pricing was off, that's okay in terms of, and let's talk about it hypothetically. If you didn't catch it hypothetically, right? If you were to look at those levels, the levels of engagement, the tactical level of engagement is a quick ticket item. This is Jackie Chan hands. I say this all the time, Jackie Chan hands. You got to be quick with your hands, right? You got to be quick with your processing. So to the extent, well, I missed that one. I missed this one. We will continue to delve into these issues in terms of being able to handle the volatility We're looking for the volatility in the markets, being able to execute and handle the volatility. Okay, we understand volatility is what we're after in the markets. We understand that. As you're seeing that second level of engagement at this level of support, being rewarded the second time, okay, in terms of this hit to the downside. Pushing uncomfortable, potentially. We can measure the percentage at which. Let me go ahead and make sure that we have on QKD Fire and Ice. Well below the Fire and Ice, well below. For Fire and Ice, I'd want to go to the 4 hourly. I want to go to that 4 hourly, see how we're computing in. We do have some levels below on the 4 hourly we would love to hit into. We would love to. What did we use on that hourly? Very interesting. Again, as we look at that hourly on Tesla, we're seeing the fire sale line reinforced as a level of resistance. This gives you a dynamic to work with as you look at those kernel calculations. As you look at the kernel calculations, you're starting to see a dynamic and be able to approach, if you're trading Tesla, etc., from the standpoint of over bullish, under bearish on our specific fire and ice lines. That's a level of sophistication beyond the standard. Lower prices mean buy, right? The higher prices meaning those short levels meaning sell or short. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly. I want to take a look at the 4 hourly actually on NVIDIA. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly on NVIDIA past the specifics here. We were above the specific. Let's look at the 4 hourly green buy line, because this is an over under function here on the green buy line that we would look at and say, okay, so we're going to be bearish underneath, we're going to be bullish over. The specific, I'm going to say the key quintessential issue on the 4 hourly for NVIDIA, same as Tesla, is going to be red cap line. Leading into even an unexpected event, and you need to be prepared. If it's going to hurt, don't trade it. That's the bottom line. That's the best advice I give to anybody, my family, my friends, otherwise. If it's going to hurt you, don't trade it. We don't want to upset people in the market, whether or not they're on our side or not. We just why have that level of frustration? It's just not copacetic towards an overall higher level of function in life, guys. Don't go there. So looking at NVIDIA, rather, on the capital control line, red, bears in control, was a nice short. If you're looking at potential upside downside targets without getting into some potential gap fills to the upside, we would say that we would like this capital control line to turn blue on some lower levels. Okay, we'd like the bulls to take charge on some lower levels. You got it right. We'd like to see a level of reinforcement on that capital control line. Let's say on the 3 minute. How are we on the 3 minute? Can we stair step this up as we look at a capital control line that is in control of by the bulls? Okay, in terms of an entry at a lower level, etc. And it may become difficult when we have this degree of volatility on the open, where those specific shorts did engage. Just understand when you're up, look at a level of engagement. Is there any chance that the market is just opening up to provide the shorts with a pickup? Do you have shorts? Literally, you could close this out yesterday and looking at the downside targets, you could have said, okay, fine, I'm going to place some shorts here at a preceding breakout level. If you were to look at the topping formation, preceding the level of support to flip to resistance, very common deal, okay? So, congrats to everybody who's trading, and yeah, Tesla just got the run of it. If you're trading Tesla on the smaller time frames, as I tell you, there's a lot. It's a 6% day right now. As you're looking at potential for downside targeting, you just have to wonder, can Tesla rocket to about 10% to the downside? Can we get a 10 print on Tesla? That would be the question I have sitting here. If we're looking at that level of a 6%, 7% print already, can we get like a 10% print on Tesla for the day? It's just literally, it's a conjecture based upon conjecture, or a bit of a what we say. It's based upon what we've seen the thresholds to be on Tesla. We make the same determinations as we spend countless days engaging in action with Tesla, with Bitcoin, etc. Bitcoin has a threshold. A few days ago, she was up 10%. We're just going to add this to the mix. We had a big day this week. Count this, pay attention to it. We had a big day this week on Bitcoin, 10%. We had a big day this week on NVIDIA. Was it 8%? We're having a big day this week on Tesla. What is it? 6, 7, 8%. What is the one common feature? The one go-to golden key on every one of those moves. If you wanted to catch every one of those moves, you say, well, that would be impossible. What, as a matter of fact, is the one common feature that we have discussed absolutely on each of those assets that caught every single one of those moves. If you pay attention, you know the answer right off the bat. You know the time frame, you know the condition, you know exactly what to look at. So count it in and of itself, let the specific indicators speak for themselves, but what was the one common feature of Bitcoin to the upside with a 10% power up, of NVIDIA to the downside with a 8% or so power down, of Tesla with an equivalent, again, 8% power down to the downside. As we look at that specific question, I'm just going to encourage you to not over-rely on your technical indicators. We know that. In terms of the specifics, though, you have to let the indicators speak for themselves. They're highly calculative, high levels of calculations. We're pushing TradingView beyond, essentially, on the up and coming dev work that we have, so that you know we push TradingView to its maximum utility without a doubt, beyond question. So when we look at the common features here in terms of what is the one common feature that we have for Tesla and NVIDIA and Bitcoin, which all had huge levels of volatility, what's the one takeaway? We know what it is. You guys know what it is. I will not mention it again. That goes without saying. True or false? What are we on the 4 hourly? Let's take a look at that cap line. Let's take a look at the cap line on the 4 hourly. Big ticket item. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Let's say what NVIDIA is doing. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly. Let's take a look at that cap line. Boom. Interesting. Bitcoin. Huh? Let's take a look at that 4 hourly. 4 hourly cap line. Boom. I'd say if you were going to focus on anything, that you should first of all decide what accommodates you in terms of what you want to focus on. What do you want to trade, right? What is the asset that accommodates you the best, that you feel best about in terms of how you're operating with it? Okay, what are the technical indicators and features that you are also most comfortable with on said asset? How does the asset test you as you're looking for volatility? It's one thing to say, well, we want volatility, we want something that'll move, I can get a big trade. All right, how does your skill set feature in with and settle in with the specific asset that you're attracted to? Is your skill set in line? Do you have the proper tools, okay, to engage with said asset? A lot of people may be attracted to an asset and not have the right tools at all. Okay, you can watch a video and get it. You know, you're going to win the Publisher Clearinghouse sweepstakes, whatever it may be. Those infomercials they used to have where they just make it sound so good, it's just amazing. If you don't have the right tools to trade and handle the asset, if you don't have the right skill set and tactical ability to deploy tactically into, when I say tactically, that's a word right out of the book of the New York Institute of Finance, where pro traders go to school, top pro Wall Street traders go to school. So when we discuss tactics, we're not pulling a military book off the shelf, we're pulling the New York Institute of Finance off the shelf. You guys get that? Literally, it'll discuss tactics. Look up the tactics on the New York Institute of Finance, where Wall Street goes to school. Tactical engagement in the market. So as you look at the level of volatility, what you're excited to, what you're really, really attracted to in the market, do you have the levels? Let's say the level of appreciable, personal, let's just say effective skill set. Do you have that effective skill set to parlay in it, to take advantage of that volatility? Do you have the proper tools, okay, in place, right? So your level of tactical engagement, your skill set, along with the tools in the market that you have. You try to do it without either or. If you do it without the balanced requisites there on either side of that specific equation, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's not going to be what you bought. You will have bought something looking at that. It's like an infomercial, because some of this just sounds too good, right? That's why I say let the indicators speak for themselves. Let the bottom of Bitcoin, yeah, it was tough. Man, that was just tough. If you can answer a question, and continually the question, okay, is that, as we were to look at NVIDIA here in the 5-minute, let's look at, we won't go to the 30-minute. Let's not go to that 30-minute, but we should, real quickly, before I delve into the lower time frames. As we look at, because the 30-minute's been a little bit coy, okay? Where is the 30-minute in terms of, there we go, a little bit of action. We saw this, wanted to engage with that 30-minute. If you have it up, I recommend you have it up on a screen, but a nice level of engagement on that 30-minute 20 moving average on short. Nice. If you run into a situation, a circumstance, where nearly repeatedly you could just say, man, if I just would have programmed that, a computer could have figured that out. I mean, I know I can tell a computer to do that, but you're not willing to do it. If the answer is so obvious, it's like, man, that's the last 10 out of 10. I'm going to go throw my computer out the window. Okay, if you're at that point, then I'm just going to encourage you guys, you got to break the mold. Don't be your best enemy in the market, right? I just want to say, I don't want to couch you against yourself, but as you look at that, you say, man, the last 10 of these, like, gosh, go scream it out in the corner for a second. Do what you need to do. Go play hoops and only focus on half-court shots. Okay, go do that. Go play basketball and only focus on half-court shots. If you need to do it blindfolded, all the better. And then ask yourselves how many you're making in a row. And then go right under the bucket. Okay, do something physical that you can get this through your mind. If you're looking at the last 10 out of 10 hits on a specific level of market engagement, go to the basketball gym. Sit there, and if you need to do it blindfolded, go ahead and do it until you prove to yourself there are opportunities that seem really exciting. The payoff seems incredible. The thrill seems awesome. There's just no chance, okay? Then go like right up under the bucket. Then go where you can literally, okay, I might hit the next 4 out of 5 here under the bucket. Okay, do something to prove to yourself that there are ways to arrange your tactical engagement in a process that have higher probabilities. It may sound completely stupid. It may sound like something, I'm never going to do that. Do something physical. Do something you'll remember. I promise it'll make a difference. Then come back and look at, if you've written down or you've identified something that's the last 10 out of 10. Gosh, you're not going to make the 10 out of 10 at the half court line. You're not, particularly if you're blindfolded. So whatever you're doing to towards obstructing your progress, just remind yourself and ask yourself, if you do something physical, you'll be able to point back to it and say, well, I think I'm at the half court line right now. Okay? Just a suggestion in terms of how you're scheduling your talents into the market. Okay, the talent from the half court line is difficult, quote unquote talent to look into, guys, to really develop. We agree? Yeah, it's a little bit of a difficult talent to schedule into. Looking back on my key level, I want to go into on the weekly on Tesla. The pickup level and the satisfaction at this specific drive down point we're going to be past the support on the carry down, that specific parallel carry down, bam. But we're looking at a tactical level of engagement at the green buy line and that bottom side target on the Bollinger Band. You got to say, after a difficult time for the bears on a cross under 20 moving average, another difficult, semi-difficult time here. Nice to see the bears engage to the downside and get paid on that cross under. What do we have up above? We had that capital control line, which for a period of time of nearly, we'll say, guys, of 3 months being in play, it played itself on Tesla. Fact, yes, it played itself on, if we were to look at it, played itself well on NVDA. True, yes. As we were to look at the specifics here, bam, it's 3 working on 4 months. That specific capital control line across the top, you got it. That's on NVIDIA. Okay, so looking at that parallel carried down feature on resistance parallel to support, we have that in play. And I'm just going to say this, it's a heck of a nice volatility move for Bitcoin. Yes. For what else? For Bitcoin, for NVIDIA, for Tesla. What's the one common feature of every one of those? You got it in terms of what caught the moves, guys. What caught the moves? So it's a heck of a week. It's a heck of a week. How could you have participated as we watch the 30-minute with an over bullish, under bearish? Okay, as we're looking at that line re-engaging, this is going to be your over bullish, under bearish on that 20 moving average. Okay, as you look at the specifics for your engagement in the market, simple things like, can I trade an over bullish, under bearish? Can I go long over? Can I go short under a specific line? Have I developed my skills enough to where I can comfortably do that understanding the price action could be a little bit too fast and could be a little bit too slow. We prefer it to be a little bit too fast and us to acclimate to to it being a little bit too fast. You guys know that. We prefer it being a little bit too fast is the bottom line. Let us adjust our skill set to it being a little bit more volatile than we would otherwise potentially prefer. That's my preference as we look at the situation. Upside target, yes, on NVIDIA. Looking at the apex move here, pushing up and above that specific, trying to push up and above that 15-minute golden short. That's holding back. In terms of this move, this is going to be the critical feature as we look today at a candle set. And again, the nice move was on open. Boom. What engaged? On open, shorts engaged. Did you engage? If you didn't, it's okay. If you didn't pick up, that's fine. Just understand the rationale in play. If you didn't catch it today, guys, a lot going on. It's a hot day with Tesla hammering to the downside. Just out of respect, we will reconsider what we stated yesterday. Don't trade it if it's going to hurt, that level of support. So I know that you're not hurt. If you didn't listen to me and you're hurt, then I'm going to tell you, I just believe that you need to listen to someone when they say they don't want you to get hurt. Okay? There's no reason for me to say it otherwise. There's no reason for me to say it otherwise, guys. Let's take a look at where we were at in terms of that level of engagement. We can go back over this, but these are just the charts that we got and we put forth this morning. That I put forth this morning, and looking at what's being assessed here was the important issue, the framework. Opening for NVIDIA are the shorts waiting at prior breakdown level. So we had this move to the upside. You guys see that. We had the pre-market move to the upside, and that was the consideration, as you saw, literally just right at that level. What was being engaged? Shorts at that prior breakdown level. Boom, boom. That was what, 2%? Was that like 2%? We'll go and measure it again. It was a great percentage move right out of the starting gate. That traded with what? That traded with stops also mentioned here. Traded with a stop where shorts are going to stop out to the upside, right? Let's look at this. It'll trade with a stop. Focus on essentially a trade that's being brought forth to bear. It will trade with a stop. So that's it. It traded with a stop. It's nice to see. Nice action. Remind yourselves of that. This critical function here, looking at the 30-minute, this is going to be your line in the sand, if you would. And it's difficult because you've got the area to the left preceding pivot. So shorts are being rewarded again here if you didn't catch the first round. And it's difficult because we do have a target to the upside. We are being tested in terms of the 30-minute. This is the level in play right now. So glad that we're able to look at this level of reinforcement. And again, it gave you the opportunity if up and over. Okay, if you didn't catch that specific first move, well, it'll give you the opportunity again. Gave the traders an opportunity again, either for a quick take on a move up and over that 20 moving average, or for the specific and a quick take 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. And as you're looking at that level, engage and throttle to a bit, the key consideration was on open. That key consideration, the shorts will trade with a stop. And again, are you proficient yet in engaging in the market on an open? You say, well, I got to look at this. Look, I can catch, man, the market is as such right now. I've done let's say I've done the back testing. I can catch, essentially a rebound move. I mean, if the market's moving towards me, I mean, I can catch, I've done the back testing, you might say. I've looked at it and I'm catching like 1/3. Seems like I'm catching 1/3 of these moves on the open, wherein it's giving me an opportunity for a long on a drop or a short on a pop right out of the starting gate, right? It just is. And I've looked at it and my payout is good on these trades. I mean, so I'm looking at being able to engage quickly in the market on the open. Are you able to engage quickly with an appropriate stop to, and you're going to know this, but how's your profit equation on that? How is your profit equation? Does it make a difference if you can identify, and to the extent that you can identify preceding levels of support that flip into, boom, resistance that we call out and say, this is going to trade, boom, 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 bam. It did. So I'm going to argue that yes, if you incorporate your patterns, yeah, you're going to have that ability in play. You just are seeing under 20 moving average. Okay, and a nice moment here on the 30-minute because we're seeing bulls get a chance, we're seeing bears get a chance, right? Which trades did you catch? We had about a 0.3 flex, 0.3% flex to the downside, 0.3 flex to the upside. How would you trade this? How would you trade and engage? Would you stick to one side? Do you need to stick to one side? You say, I'm only going to capture anything flat on the 20 moving average to the upside, okay? Or I'm only going to capture something that's flat entry on a short to the downside. However, you are composed personally in terms of your level of engagement in the market. How proficient are you? Are you stocked out yet? What is your approach to this? I'm just going to challenge you as you look at a bullish over, bearish under. How tight can you get your stops, right? This traded twice to the upside, true. This traded now once to the downside, true. Okay, what is there in terms of your tactical engagement in the market, in terms of how you're operating tactically in the market to where you're able to place a stop on a long? Take profits. Let's just talk about this real quickly. Take profits on a long with 2 hits with appropriate stops that you're able to enter an order for a short play to the downside, which also traded with an appropriate stop. Is it too much for you to handle? Is it too much for you to handle? Open 20 moving average, right? Where's the trade? Where's the trade on the open of the 20 moving average? Where did we open? We opened right up underneath the 20 moving average. So what trade engaged? What trade engaged? We opened right up under the 20 moving average on the 30-minute. So what's engaging? Immediately, boom. Short, engaging. Bear's going to try and reinforce a move potentially to the downside. You got it, okay? Is it a big move? This is a conceptual, tactical approach to the market. We agree? Let's just see what we got. 0.1, 0.2. These are tight, quick trades. What do we want? And that looks good. I understand the tactics involved, but we want some more volatility. True or false? We want some more volatility. You got it right. I need a quick trade. I need some quicker volatility. Give it to me. You open up like that? Come on. You're going to make me wait? Come on, NVDA. You're the star of the show this year. You're going to let Netflix take all the thunder today? Come on. Come on. NVIDIA, you know. I don't even know if Netflix would work without graphics processor chips. I mean, has anyone considered that? But you're seeing what we're attracted to in terms of volatility. So work on your trade, your tactical trade skill set. Deal? Deal, okay? Great open just underneath, and it's a tight zone, that 20 moving average. You saw it engage. You saw the open underneath the 20 moving average. Can you, specifically you, can you enter a short here with an appropriate stop here on an open under the 20 moving average and say, I'm short, pay me. You opened underneath a critical level, pay me. How quickly can you achieve that? Huh? The quicker you can achieve it, now we're talking. There are ways to increase your speed in the market. There are ways to increase your speed in the market, but you have to understand the fundamentals and play first. You just do. I liken it to a speed bag, right? A speed bag, a boxer hits a speed bag. You're going to walk up there in the beginning and you're going to barely know how to hit that thing twice. True? Have you hit a speed bag before? A boxing speed bag? You're going to see somebody who comes in the gym. I'm one of these guys. I can go up to a speed bag and I can rock it quickly enough. Anybody in that gym, any boxer is going to turn around and see who walked in. That's me, okay? I've hit a speed bag enough. I have big guys in the back, big boxers in the back. They'll look at who just walked in the boxing gym, okay? But you have to hit the speed bag, meaning you have got to hit the specific number of times into the market to be able to understand the process and the flow and the rhythm of what you're hitting into. You're not going to get there. You're just not going to get there, guys, if you don't put in the number of hits, trades that you need to express in the market. Okay, so if you're not there, if you're still hitting the speed bag and you're looking at it like, man, I can't even hit the 2 of these in a row. You just need to get down your rhythm. You need to get down the process. You need to get down the number of hits on the speed bag. You guys know the in terms of the speed bag. We're doing 100 round lessons here, but you know, and you've seen somebody hit it well, You're like, how in the world are they doing that? You go up to it and you can barely hit, like you're just lost. You're just hitting it. And it's like I have no idea where this thing's going to go next. You get down the rhythm and bam, you start hitting it, 3 times with your left hand. You get to decide how many with the right. 3 times or 4 times or 10 times with the right hand. Then you throw in a left whenever you want. Bam, bam. And then you start to hit in with some power to where you can break a speed bag. Okay? When you want to, you can literally hammer into it and break a speed bag. Okay? And you know the threshold of what the speed bag is gonna handle. When you get to know, and it's just an analogy that I bring up, I miss a speed bag. My grandfather was Golden Gloves in the military, so that's one of my deal. I grew up knowing that, so I grew up. Okay, great. I'm gonna hit into. I should say, and in the military. I don't think he fought. He didn't get any fights in the military. Okay, he just didn't. I'm sure he didn't. Maybe not. But looking at I come by it honestly, whatever it may be. In terms of the specifics here, the important thing to recapture. We're on the 30-minute open underneath the 20 moving average. True? Yes. Trade op? Yes. Opportunity to trade short. Digest this. Okay, sorry for the commentary, but it's okay. We're working towards the end of the week. We need a little bit of a lighter load after Tesla rocking to the downside. What's our level of engagement? Looking at that weekly time frame, looking at the completion after the 20 moving average underneath. Boom. Okay, green byline. You got that right. Specific lower target hit, definitely within threshold. We're 90% of the way to the target on Tesla. What are the features that you're looking at in terms of downside additional price action? Let's go to before we get into the lower time frames. It was a bad spill out. We agree. Elon. If we look at the specifics involved, it wasn't as much the earnings that got us guys, Tesla pricing after market. We saw this when we streamed in afterwards. Tesla was relatively stable, even on some lackluster earnings, relatively stable. But what then happened? Elon got on the call and literally just downplayed any expectations on Cybertruck. Well, that's going to be a year before that really gets going, guys. Pay attention. Downplayed, or really was cautionary in his thinking in terms of the interest rates and how they would affect car sales. So he was just it was a down day. Now on Tesla, I'd like to dig into the lower time frames. You guys agree? Before I dig into the lower time frames, I want to encourage you to listen to those little things that I say. For instance, if it's going to hurt you, do not trade this. Yesterday in the stream to close, if you got hurt, I'm going to encourage you to listen to me. That's the bottom line. In terms of getting hurt or not, okay? There is no redo if you already got hurt in the market, period. If you shorted it and say, well, I did better than you, I knew the earnings were going to be there. Okay, well, if you know something like that, you're just going to tell, that's bad mojo. Do not trade on insider information if you know it. Number one way to lose friends. Okay, in terms of specifics on the 5 second, if we're down in the 5 second and micro trading this, right on. If we're down into looking at some expressions of volatility that I like to see, just generally, that I'm going to hunt for continually. And we had a failed bull flag. We had a failed bull flag at this level. I want to say good morning. Hope you're all doing well. And a little bit of caution before yesterday. You just understand when you're in a tricky circumstance like that. Right? Looking at it again, when we delve into these lower time frames, aside from the general talk, you'll start to see some conformance here. And we'd like to see that even amidst the volatility. If we're seeing the level of resistance, level of support on this 5 second time frame, now we're talking. We're liking some of this. What are we seeing on the 5 second time frame to get back in the mojo and the flow with Tesla? Digging into these micro levels, you're seeing, okay, we can eyeball this inverse head and shoulders back to the level of resistance. This was a high probability trade here. We like that. Looking at the framework, got a rising wedge here. Do we have to draw it out? No. Is it there? Yes. Okay. Is it trading technically? It appears such. Did we achieve a flat top resistance? No. Well, how is that going to help us? What do we have compromising us to the downside? What do we have, guys? What do we have compromising us to the downside right here? Boom. Flat bottom support, right? So lateral pickup, in fact, on that, 5 second time frame, you got it. Now, lower time frames is where you spend time cutting your teeth, as they would say. You need to cut your teeth in a profession. You got it. What do we have at the upside? What's the breakout potential? Bam. Cup and handle, you got it. Okay? Looking at the speed bag, as I bring up that example, it's a good talk, guys. That's just it's just a talk. You guys know it. In terms of that, nobody go into the boxing gym and challenge anybody. Don't do that. Okay. Period. In terms of the curvature and handle, we see it. We know our targets. We understand how to engage. Let's see how we're doing. All right. Now, what don't we do on breakouts? What don't we do on breakouts? Lateral pickup, you got it. How do I trade a descending triangle? You guys say, man, how do I trade a descending triangle? That's not fair. How am I supposed to know whether or not, the biggest question, how am I supposed to know whether or not it's a double bottom or a descending triangle? How am I supposed to know that? Well, you're going to do one thing if you want a good answer. At some point, you're going to say, look, well, where's the optimal level for me to test this out? Before I start looking at all of the indications, all of the time frames in terms of where I'm at, is Tesla on the 5-second NVIDIA maybe hot, maybe hot up and over the 20 moving average on the 30-minute. There you go. So paid now, lighting up for the bulls. Nice to see that. A 0.4% drop to the downside, okay, on that level of engagement to the downside, 0.4% paid, 0.4% traded to the downside on the 30-minute. Fact? Fact. Trading for the bulls now, right? Giving the bulls a chance on that 30-minute. True? Fact. Okay? Now, in terms of the lower time frames and what's going on this 30-minute, seems a little bit like we're lacking in some information on this 30-minute, we have to say. It's one thing to say there's a line in the sand and we're going to be bullish over and bearish under. Looking at Tesla on that micro time frame lets us know some of the issues that are going on in those lower time frames. We agree. If you are balancing and trading a host of guys, if you're doing advanced micro patterning analytics, technical analysis on 3 or 4 assets at one time, that's why corporations, that's why companies hire people. Okay, they hire wings of people and floors of people. Okay, so to the extent that you're focused on one asset, congratulations. If you have your macros figured out, then indeed you're going to be ahead of the game a bit. Lower time frame action, as we were to look at that 200 weekly. Let's look back at NVIDIA. Nicely done, huh? Nicely done. Now we go to the lines. Looks really easy, doesn't it? That looks so simple. That looks so easy, doesn't it? Okay, now, trading to an upside target. Fact, true or false? As you trade these, I'm going to bring it back to the foray in terms of what's important for you to focus on. You got it right. You got it right. The specific, where's our arrow? They do not rearrange these. I know they don't. Guys, you got your target to the upside, this apex. Boom. Your target is the apex of the failed wedge. Why? Demand agreement buyers on support, sellers on resistance. We have a divergence of price to pattern expectation. We expected this to go to the upside. Okay? Fact. Now, when I say you need a pattern to get to your target, where are we going to find a pattern to get to our target? Lower time frames? Fact. Looking at the specific curvature and handle feature, what are we seeing a level of engagement at? Just a level of engagement with a rehit on the 20 moving average. We're seeing a level of engagement at that full 100% completion. So how do you decide if it's a flat bottom, a double bottom, or a descending triangle? Well, you're going to learn to strategize around this and pick up at a lateral. Bam. What was the bottom of Bitcoin? It was a lateral pickup. True? Yes. Most of them break to the downside. The ones that you miss will can cause you some pain. We agree? Yeah. So this is your entry bullish on your secondary lateral hit. And then how are you doing now? You're comfortably in the position where if you got the lateral pickup on Tesla on the 5-second, what's the question? Did you make some money? Yes. What's the real question? It's just a question of how much. And you're here, you're parked here or here, and you're saying, well, you know, I don't know whether or not I should take the money or not. If you're in the position that you're continually getting paid on your trades and you're just not sure if it's enough yet, you're ahead of the market, okay? If you're consistently generating profits, yes. And your biggest question is, well, how much money do I want to make? How much money am I going to make? Am I going to make more money this morning or not? You're ahead of the market. Okay, so your biggest problem that you have in the market, I just don't know when to take. Man, it sounds like you You got a big problem. You got vacation trips vacation first class tickets to Tahiti once a quarter, man. God, everyone at the office feels so bad for you, man. When you explain your big problem to everybody in the office, you mean, your biggest problem is you just don't know when to take your profits. Well, wow. Everyone in the office is really feeling bad for you. Might as well go around and just complain. I have a big problem. I get vacation first class tickets to Tahiti like every 3 or 4 months. Oh man, what a problem. That's just awful. That's awful. I can't believe they would do that to you. Huh? Same thing in the market. Well, I'm in profits, I'm making money, I just don't know when to take my money. I just don't know how much is enough for me. Well, between the guys, find a different problem. Find a different problem. Work into your fractional completions. Fact, please. Find a different problem. People don't want to hear about those extra tickets to Tahiti that you get first class, do they? No. They don't think it's a problem. You may think it's a problem. No one else thinks it's a problem. Fact. Preceding breakout level of resistance. True? Yes. Picked up? Yes. Traded well? Yes. Did it trade well enough? Good technicals? Yeah, we'll take them, huh? Not bad. 0.24, 0.25, traded. What are we looking at? Is it an expansion or is it a flag? Does this look familiar? This looks a little familiar in terms of the specific hammer down for NVIDIA. This is Tesla on the 5 second. We agree? You guys know the open where NVIDIA decided to hammer down. A little bit of crosstalk here between Tesla and NVIDIA. Fact? Yes. Do you remember that open, huh? You had to realize we were parked along a preceding level of support. A little bit coy here. Between Tesla and NVIDIA, how's Bitcoin doing, huh? Bitcoin, trying to rocket up through that 4-hourly line. I'm fine with you rocketing up through this off that 200 weekly moving average. What are we? We're bullish over, we're bearish under. Again, the problem that you have, I just don't know how much money in the market's enough money for me. Well, so you're in the money. You got it. That's the biggest issue. So target hit, we want to call it within threshold. Do we want to redraw on the candle wicks? Sure. We can redraw on the candle wicks and just call it a target hit on Tesla to the upside. Rather on NVIDIA to the upside. You guys know this target was to the upside. Pushing it along. Now we're on the micro for Tesla. True? Yes, we're on the micro for Tesla. You prepared for this move? Prepared along the level of support? We're prepared for a potential bump and run? Are you capable of engaging down below at the level with stops here? Okay, have we done the diagnostics in terms of the likelihood of please pay attention to this, guys. This is as important as the target that we just saw completed to the upside here. Bam, on NVIDIA, pay attention. If upon such breach of a potential lead in, now, first of all, what are we looking at? On every bell, what do we want to expansion here? What do we want to look at as well? Pay attention. We want to look at the potential for this to the downside. Bam. So we're getting a micro feature set of what we got on the macro, near macro on the move on NVIDIA. True. Double bottom, what picked up here at the preceding level of support. Just note such technically while we go through this. As we look at those shorts parked here, this is what NVIDIA gave us. This is the Tesla chart, but what NVIDIA gave us was that rebound into this zone for a nice boom drop at the preceding breakdown level. You'll see it on the lines. Preceding breakdown, prior pivot, boom, traded on the open. Fact, you got it. So looking at Tesla, this is what Tesla has done, boom. Shorts engaged at the preceding breakdown level. Now, what is up for key assessment here? The number one thing I want you to continue to assess in the background as you look at participating, okay? As you look at participating, first of all, when you're looking at up or down, do you have targets to the upside or targets to the downside? You're gonna find this is gonna be a little bit easier, quite a bit, if and to the extent that you are looking at one asset. Well, we're bouncing around between Tesla and NVIDIA and Bitcoin, etc. If you have 10 screens up and you're managing all this, congratulations. That's easier done. When we're focused on one screen, we're going through. We have some construction next door. We have some neighbors constructing. What I want to say is, what is this here? Rising wedge? True. What is this here? Yes, in fact, we have what to the downside? Let's just call it. Call it as you see it, guys. Call it as you see it. What does your chart look like right now? Just ask yourself, what does your chart look like right now? You may have your favorite time frame up right now with consistent levels, and you may say, yeah, okay, fine, you're on the 5 second. Yes, we are assessing the technical componentry, and what I will do here is upon a breach of a lead-in with a potential bump and run, I want to know with Tesla. I want to know and work into the empirical data set backtesting for NVDA. As we trade, we test heavily. It's how we come up with these tactics. We develop the specific target tactic to a failed wedge, rising wedge, demand agreement violation. We have a price line to pattern expectation, which should have been down. We have a price line to pattern expectation. We have a specific hit. Boom. Fact? Yes. Reminded me here of NVIDIA, which did pour to the downside. What did we go down to? We went down to a target. We hit the target. Copy that. Now, in terms of the expression here, I am ultimately concerned with whether or not, and to the extent, the probabilities within which, and what is required for us to say, fine, we breached a potential bump and run lead in, which is an expansion in volatility. And I want to know, if you're following me right now, good. I want to know the number of times that we recover at least to this level. Okay, I want to know the number of times that we recover in this volatility expression at least to this level, which is an expected within the volatility expression, which is an expected level of support pickup, as it's a forecasted level and essentially an opportunity for bulls to get in on a pattern. So when I see the breach, I want to know, okay, that's not treating the bulls nicely, is it? No. So I want to know the number of times, as we look at what we're trading, the number of times that this is recovered to. Not just this level of resistance across the top. We have our specific level of resistance. We have this calculative. We already have that percentage probability. I want to know on a breakdown of a lead-in of a potential bump and run, which has this lead-in portion, then the specific downside feature. I want to calculate, I want us to focus on in the back, and it's something we'll continue to do with what percentage probability are we recovering to at least this level. We'll just mark it at the 225.32. Let's mark it. I'm going to put a specific, alert on the horizon, and let's see if at all she decides to comport and behave. What do we have against us? What we have against us is, and we'll discuss the framework of a descending triangulation, we have the potential for a breach of a flat bottom support. True? Fact. Okay? The dynamics in play, and typically as we look at such, are going to be the following. Want to shout out to the VIP. Great trades on open. First 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Huh? Fantastically done, guys. Nice way to catch that specific short on NVIDIA. Early, right? Caught that short on NVIDIA? Yes. What's in play? 30-minute? I think we will agree that 30-minute is in play in terms of potential target to the upside versus the downside. Some tough trades, and I'll reframe you into that 4-hourly cap line without a doubt. Lower time frames as such, quote-unquote catchy price action. Okay, volatility, we want it. We agree? Absolutely. So looking at the expression here, I'm ultimately concerned if we're going to recover the 225.32. It's on a separate level of a dynamic that we're just going to consider. Bottom line, how do we look at in terms of our features here? In terms of our features, looking at the momentum, how are we looking on Tesla? It appears as if we have absolutely run the gamut. If you're working with our volatility right now, if you're working with our volatility signals, you're in the clear. You are in the clear. Right now with our volatility signals, our velocity-based signals, you're doing fine. If you've scheduled off a bit in terms of, well, the patterns are good on the 5 second, but I'm just going to go with the volatility, with the velocity-based signals. Rehit at the level of support? Yes. How do you know if it's a triple bottom or if it's going to be a descending triangle? Well, who just picked up? Bulls. They're asking that question, you bet. What's your velocity based? So we get into the 4-hourly as you watch a breakdown here. As you look at your velocity based signals, You got it right. Do they have you in the money right now? 110%. 110% they have you in the money. Your capital control lines have you in the money? Does your cap line have you in the money? If you're following your capital control signals, instead of micro trading up and through and doing some diagnostic work, empirical diagnostic work. Yes, every cap line on every time frame has you in the money. Okay? Just right now. I'll say momentum has you in the money. Trying to shift on the 15-minute with a throwback on breach. Who engaged and just got stopped out? Who engaged and just got stopped out is going to play over and under here. Well, the Bears just got busted. The Bears just got busted. Yes. On a breakout, you betcha. Okay, so it's just a bust. It is. So we're looking at the notion that Tesla being a bit coy. Now, the SAVE New York Institute of Finance is going to say what? NYIF is going to say what? Well, we're going to give this about a 1% on a macro chart. On a macro chart, we're going to give any level of support about a 1% variability. Okay, that's how they're going to catch it. You mean I have to catch a move 1% late every time? New York Institute of Finance. All right, they'll have a solution for that as well. Let's see what we got. We have Good Morning VIP, wishing everyone a great trading day, great stream. Hey, Venus in the house. Good morning. Good morning, VIP. Great trade opportunity where you got it right on the open of NVDA. Boom, boom. Love that. Boom. What's being assessed on the open are the shorts waiting at prior breakdown level, pre-market. It'll trade with a stop. Boom, boom. We got it. We killed it. Just killed it in terms of the call. It's not always this easy, but if you can say a level of engagement is going to trade with a stop, period, you're going to know this, right? You're just going to know this. As we look at, and I bring up that New York Institute of Finance level of engagement with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in terms of, well, you need to give it about 1%. That's just the standard of the industry on a macro chart. Is it accommodating? No. No, it's not. We were just all in alignment, and you saw this. We were all in alignment on every single time frame here. Come on, man, on Tesla. What happened? For the record, what happened? The 5-second momentum started to go and flash green? Come on, man. How else are you going to have this move? You can look at your 5 seconds, your 15 second, 30 second, 1 minute. You can march up the scale in terms of what started to go green. Oh, okay. Your 30 second also did. Started to go green. Now we're back into the push. You just took from the bears, true? Yeah, bears on a lower time frame. This is why we schedule into some higher time frames to look for the little bit less aggressive pricing on some higher time frames. We agree? We like that 4 hourly magic, huh? Genie in a bottle? Maybe, huh? Maybe. 4 hourly capital control line. What is the capital control line? RSI, stochastic, and MACD in a kernel equation, an advanced kernel calculation. You start to ask, how can that not work on a higher time frame? How can RSI, stochastic, and MACD in a computation that is a legitimate, a very legitimate computation that's used and really is, guys, a standard of high level, kind of state-of-the-art level industry. Okay, RSI, stochastic, and MACD, how can that not function? It functions. It does. There's still whipsaw, still events like this. Again, what is my question here? I want to know if we can hit the 225.32, and I'm going to assess this, and you all will get tired of assessing this or not. Did you see that? Boom. What was that? Well, someone just sold. Are you sure? Or did someone sell and someone buy? Yep. Where were the orders parked? Bam. You saw that? Bam. That's a flash trade. That's what I like. You got it right. Did you have an order at this level? Did you see the kick down? Bam. That's money. Bam. You saw that? Very nice to see that. If you're into volatility, you got it. Nice moves. Nice moves. That was the best move I've seen all day. As we're crawling and wandering and getting through, and are we going to? No, guys, that move was boom, boom. Retesting, not taking that guy out. That guy just got taken out on support. True fact. Expanding, broadening, formation, a favorite of the bulls? No. potential carried down level of support. This is engagement in the 5 seconds, so we are really micro shotting into this. We agree? Yes. Good move. Good move. Now, what's the percentage of the upside to the downside? Let's just look at this. Are you bullish over and bearish under on this line? What do you think? Yes. Where are we at in terms of, we got a 65-cent threshold to preceding bottom. Okay, we have a flat bottom support. That constitutes bust number 1 on a descending triangle. We agree? Yes. Bust number 1. Now, if you're relaxed, a little bit more relaxed and say, man, that's great on the 3 second, on 5 second, that's fine, but just look at my, look at this. Look at my 15 minute. We're going down. Looking at the specifics, what's engaged? Man, that's fine. I'm sitting in my short from the capital control line. It was a dead on entry. So can you really say that that was the best trade you've seen all day? Man, look at how precise this was on the 15 minute. You may say, I had got the 15-minute chart literally right in front of me all day long, all morning long to look for a level of engagement. True? Yes. Bam. Nice, highly precise level. Bring it up in the context of that was the quote-unquote best move I've seen for me. Why? Because the move we just saw in the lower time frame, it had what? It literally was just like a lightning strike, quicker than a lightning strike. We agree? Yes. Nice move. So downside targets, upside targets, yes. The question comes into play, do we? Do we focus on the same targets if we have a busted pattern? It's going to be up for your assessment. I'm going to argue that you do, depending upon the nature of the bust. If you have created a different, we're just seeing this level grind. You want to know the difficulty of just, okay, fine, we're bullish over, bearish under. You want to know the difficulty? We are grinding and sawing through this level, taking out trades and traders in this zone. Fact? Yes. Taking out traders in this zone along this level of support who are pushing bearish. The traders who got involved here, bad news, right? The traders who got involved here, bad news. Unless what? Unless what? Like on the 30-minute, what's your take threshold? Man, I want to clear 0.25% on my trades. Okay, I want to clear 0.25% on my trades. Anyone in the safety zone here? Yeah, I just want to clear 0.25% on my trades, man. Huh, I see. Okay, so the one who this is accommodating is the trader who's not looking at a 2 or 3% trade. The one who is looking at well, my threshold's about a 0.25%. I'm fine. We'll just make it about 0.2. This is 0.3. That's fine. I'm comfortable with 0.2. I'm in. I'm out. I'm 0.2 on any threshold level. That's fine. Wants to keep going. Maybe I throw in a carry trade. But as we look at this, who's being accommodated? The big heavy hitting traders. Oh yeah, the big retail guys who are hammering in a short. Hammer it in and put your stop loss in on a breakout. You're required to. We agree? You should be required to. Now, so who's being accommodated short? The guys, the higher frequency, okay? The lower expectation, our lower expectations in terms of those requirements to satisfy the trade are trading on this level on Tesla. NVDA, how's that 30-minute? So one thing we know for sure and certain in terms of volatility, what's the name of the game? We want the volatility, okay? If and to the extent that I can present a good solution, technically, please pay attention. Please pay attention. If and to the extent that I can present a solution in terms of a trade tactical program that is automated, that can effectuate an over bullish, under bearish dynamic, okay, and an over long, under short dynamic, I would just present to you the fact that it's not inherently an easy device to bypass in the trading context. Meaning what? Meaning it takes some work because TradingView doesn't even really like to accommodate that. By default, TradingView doesn't even really like to accommodate, okay, immediate long on cross, immediate short on So the manual way to do it can be favored. But to the extent that that is on the list of things to do, it's on the list of things to do, and we have some great things done. Higher time frames govern. We concur. Let's look at the 4-hourly again. Let's just revisit this on NVIDIA. What's in play? 4-hourly green byline. What's in play on the weekly on NVIDIA? You got it right. Weekly in green byline now. This has adjusted. Preceding bottom here was the bottom. This here, capital control line, RSI, stochastic, and MACD went bearish last 4 months on NVIDIA. That's the level that's engaged. We're riding that 20 moving average. If the lower time frames are too catchy, and say, man, I can't make heads or tails of this, right? If you're in the zone and I can't make heads or tails of this. All right, I don't care if there's a microfractal. You may get to the point, I don't care if there's a microfractal. What's also occurring here, as you're looking at the potential and the question that's being posed to the traders, like, I don't care right now. It's like, I just lost 3 trades. The market just took 3 trades. Well, you need to look at it and say, well, who just got paid? The guy who's a little more reasonable, he's going to say, I just want 0.25. I want 0.25. I want 0.25. Okay? You're going to have a bull on there. It's like, okay, I just hit 1. You guys, I just hit 2. I just hit 3, you know? So you're going to start to understand as well the number of times that you re-hit something. It's like you start feeling a little bit nonsensical. I've hit this thing like 5 times. Don't tell anyone. I've hit this thing 5 times. True or false? True. You agree or not? You know this. I've already hit this like 5 times. Here we go again. You know that, right? She's consistent, but at the same time, you gotta be reasonable yourself, right? Now, wouldn't it be nice if somehow she decided to respect, and this is the joke of the day on Tesla, without a doubt, the joke of the day, huh? Mm-hmm. Everybody gets this? Yeah, let's just go ahead and throw in a micro bull flag. Sure. Oh yeah. That's the number 1 feature that we want tucked within a dual fractal descending triangulation. It's a little bit beyond coy, right? But what we have to note is within the context of what can outperform can be a specific micro bull flag. They can outperform. You know this. You've traded enough. You know micro bull flag. Fine. Where's the last place in the world you want to get involved in it? Technically on breakout, on anything. Would you ever make an exception for a micro bull flag with a stop? Maybe. Maybe on a technical breakout. Maybe, because they can at times really overperform. We agree? Yeah. Okay. Potential double bottom. We've got this in play right now. The question being asked to the market is where things got tricky up top. Now we've surpassed that dynamic nearly, but this is where things got tricky up top. Complicated technicals. In terms of the specs on Tesla right now, okay, what paid? We can say what paid. Lateral pickup, yeah. Do we have to measure it? Not really, but what paid here? Within a 10-cent margin. We're tight. We're on the 5-second. We're just assessing the price action, right? Where's my alert function if we can get back up into the $225.32? Does it guarantee? No. Is it a tough day for Tesla? I'd say when Elon backs the entirety of the market off of the Cybertruck expectations, there may be some capital controls in play. NVIDIA, where are you at, NVIDIA? Over bullish. Nicely done. Let's take a look at the 15-minute on NVIDIA. Fact, let's say in 15-minute has been continually beneficial for us to look into. That golden short paid very well on open. So Tesla's being a little bit difficult. If you're trading Tesla well on the lower time frames, congrats. Is it impossible? Not at all. Do you need to wait at times for a pattern to develop? Yes. Is that helpful? Yes. If you're looking at lateral pickups, that's one story of this, let's say this price action here. If you're looking at lateral pickups, great. Bulls are getting lateral pickups with what? With the notion here that the lateral pickups are expressing, and what's being challenged right now is that bottom line flat level support. okay? To say it's a little bit coy with a micro bull flag, we'll take one. We don't really like the bull flag tucked in as we get into the specifics. We prefer it to be tucked in a little bit higher than an equivalent flat bottom support. So the bottoming level of the 223, as we look at this, the 222, one thing we can say for certain, the 222 versus, as that 222 to $223 is the floor that's trying to be established by the bulls. Easy trading, right? No. What's going to be more consistent in terms of, as we look at these micro expressions right now, what seems to be definitely occurring here is going to be the fact that while we're trying to hold, bulls are trying to enter into that 222, 223 level, that the higher time frames are governing. We concur. There's no need to dance around that. The 4 hourly, again, just killed it. Sorry to see this level go, and Elon to really de-spirit the market a little bit on Tesla. Sorry to see that. That would take some real competition, real high-level competition for him to come up with that Cybertruck and say, hey, the conference call could have been, we are geared up, we are ready to go, Cybertruck's incoming. He didn't show up, did he? So they didn't show up. I know they're trying to make progress in Texas, etc. Shout out to everybody from Texas. So as we look at that, let's note again that we did have that pickup upon support. That was a nice pickup as we were to look at that on the open, just on the exact open, right? Over a point picked up on the open. We have this level of interest below, certainly. Typically, I'm going to say this. Now, this is the big takeaway on Tesla. If we get out of the micro time frames, okay, out of the micro time frames. You may be whipping it up and killing it on the micro time frame, by the way. If you are, congratulations. If that's where you trained and that's where your fingers do the marching on the lower time frames and you're killing it, congratulations. Do 100 trades at a comfortable level, right? In terms of that. The notion here is typically on the breach, pay attention, typically on the breach. Oh, and this is just a maxim that we see based upon back testing, okay? Copious amounts of back testing. Typically, we don't want to be involved past this level of support. Now, what we'll start to do in terms of the breach to the downside, we just typically don't want to be involved. That's me talking about Tesla. That's a big deal. If I am to reframe this on the daily, and I haven't wanted to really go here because that weekly is a really nice level that has a real clear demarcation. The daily has really been difficult, the daily, to identify. As we look at the specifics on the daily, what the bulls are being asked to do is reinforce this line. So we are down and out on the weekly fact. If you're looking at those flat bottom supports, trying to pick up, your line is on the daily. I've tried to stay away from it because the weekly is such a clean break. It was a level of engagement yesterday evening before this tirade came down from California. But bulls, if you want a second chance to dance on Tesla on the daily, and you understand the frustrations, and this is where the lower time frame can be helpful, as you understand the dynamics now from that 15-second or 5-second, whether or not you're trading 0.25% moves and you're killing it and you've learned to chop up those lower time frames consistently. If you're not there on a larger time frame basis, okay, the market is giving you an opportunity today to engage at a level of support. And just as a matter of fact, we don't typically want to be involved. You tell me if your conclusion is different. I don't believe that it will be. If you're going to argue that consistently we want to be involved below a level of established support, long. No, guys. So that's the level that is engaged. We've done the work, the homework on the lower time frames. If you're a speed racer trader and you're doing great on these lower time frames, congratulations. You're killing it, right? This is a tight zone. This is some tight action. But you see what's at stake? Absolutely. So now the lower time frames, like, man, that seems haphazard. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem right, right? Well, pay attention that we have the daily maximized level. It's a level we've talked about. True? Yes. It's a level that we've talked about. And the fact that we had to cut into this really to capture this preceding pivot. So this is really the first legitimate test of this line on the daily. We get to agree on that fact. This is the first legitimate test on the daily. Yes, indeed. I think green byline on the daily is just sitting right here. So close, within threshold. Calculative, high level of interest. Green byline on the daily. That's a nice level to hit. That's a highly calculative level. We concur. So that's what's in play. We've had a nice look at the lower time frames. Now this makes some additional sense. We concur? Yes. We don't mind descending triangles for a potential pickup, and what a great moment for Tesla as we look at the specifics and the notion even that, well, we got almost a micro bull flag in here. So yeah, well, we have that daily line that people are trying to engage on. There's some level of decent interest at that level, right? So this makes sense that we have a bit of a flux here with bad earnings, bad conference call really, but that descending triangle, bearish. What do we know about descending triangles? It gives the bulls an opportunity to get involved below the descending triangles. I'm just going to caution you on Tesla, don't do it if it's going to hurt. That's the bottom line. It's what I said yesterday. It doesn't change today, and I've got a $225.32. Of course, I'm going to have an upside target, right? Yeah, it's part of the testing we're doing, part of the back testing that we're doing. It's the reason why on the DXY. It's the reason on the DXY, precisely the reason on the DXY, that I communicated with Tom Bolkowski based on our back testing that I was looking for a recovery into this zone, okay? Because we do our own heavy amounts of back testing. The guys are really beyond, I won't say, at a very practical level, beyond just the theoretical. Boom. Did we hit that? Bam. Boom, bam. So when I talk about the specifics on an upside target for Tesla, it's within that scope and rationale that I'm going to continue to test this on a micro basis, period. So understand, is it a given? We have an upside 225.32. No, it's a level that I'm going to continue to evaluate over the incoming months and that you're going to be privy to in terms of the rationale behind it. If we have a bump and run and a breach of the bump and run lead in, what are the percentages, the probabilities of us recapturing that level? Does it mean we're all in, we're all going up to the, no. We're looking at a descending triangle. Fact, okay? But I'm going to assess that on the side. If it complicates things, whenever I bring up a breach of a specific bump and run, disregard it. Easy enough? Disregard it. I may even tell you this is something you can just completely disregard, okay? Where are we at right now? We're in the 15-second, but where are we at? We're on that daily, right? We're on the daily, looking at this again in terms of Tesla. It's a good volatility day, 8.58% to the downside. We'll take it. It's a nice move. It's a nice move. We're on the daily level of engagement here. It's a big level for the bulls to give up on the daily. Weekly, we've been a little bit framed into this, but daily just right nearly into that green byline. So this is how, and I'll just say this for the record, our fire and ice, as you look at it, is it always perfect? It's always going to give you exactly what you need. It's going to do all the homework for you. No, but it is doing this. Look at this. On the daily, what is it telling you? Fire and ice is calculated well enough to tell you what? You're at a level of support. This is the critical level of support. So is this an entry? Yeah. Is it going to hold? What it's telling you is this is a calculated trend line level, kernel calculative. Would you want the buy line anywhere else? Not if you're a bull. Not if you're going to try and hold this line, right? And looking at the framework, I'll reframe you to the 4 hourly as a matter of something that you should continually pay attention to, right? Absolutely. So looking at that level, that's where we're at. The daily green byline getting hit. Let's turn on these. Let's make sure that we are getting hit because I want to see this hit on Tesla. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so we've engaged at the 4 hourly green byline. You'll get that indication in the phone call a little bit ahead of time. Okay, it's going to be calculated in line with the. Guys, I don't want to get into the details of our code work. Okay, there's a reason you're going to get a phone call here. All right, deal. So this is it. If you want it now, it's yours. It's a tough level to hold on the daily. It's going to be the critical line that we look at beyond that weekly. This is the critical line to hold on Tesla. Man, Musk just throwing that, just guys, and it's not Musk, it's just business. You have a new car concept that is late in terms of its arrival to the market. We're starting to see some of them. You got to satisfy an interest. You got to build 3 million. By the way, next week we need you to build 3 million of those. You got the demand function down. We just need to build 3 million of those. It's a lot of work, guys. So was it Tesla that showed up, or Musk that showed up? And man, he killed. He's looking at some figures and looking at the challenge in terms of that. We're looking at a green buy line on the daily with Tesla down 8.68%. Okay, calculatively speaking. He's looking at the immense hurdle that he's got in terms of producing. Okay, we need to make 3 million of these next week. It's a big job, guys. It's a big job. 2 seconds. Let me get a sip of water, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. I want to remind you, in terms of your levels, we spend a lot of time at the lower time frames to frame out this specific pickup level on the daily today. I want you to understand the micro patterning in play here, what the challenges are presented, and you'll also have some additional targets to the downside based upon the information that we just gave to the VIP in the back. You guys have those topping formations. You have the specific structured in targets to the downside. That's for you guys. Did that work ahead of time. Looking at the specifics on NVIDIA, looking at a target potential return to preceding flat bottom support on NVIDIA. This will be a nice level to re-achieve. We noted this morning not only the specific short that engaged on open, and again, guys, I'm the first 2-3 minute kind of guy on the open. You'll find very few people who are most comfortable the first 2 or 3 minutes on the market. In the market, that is where I thrive. First 2-3 minutes, that's it. Boom. I want to call it. That's it. She's traded. Bam. In terms of additional trading features, if you're a swing trader, you're going to love the whole day most likely. Okay. I'm a quick in out, heavy throttle kind of guy with low risk. That's what I like to do. Move as much cash potentially in as short of amount of time with as low of a risk equation and with the highest degree of payout. That's what I thrive in, okay? In terms of a level of preceding support on NVIDIA, heading back up to the preceding support, that's the hurdle in play for the bulls to get back up to this level of $436. Call it 437 bucks, okay? A preceding flat bottom support is in play. Now, with the understanding as well, in terms of the target formations, we'll probably go to a different time frame, but we do have satisfied a target to the upside given our descending wedge framework. Agreed. Looking at flat top resistance, let's go ahead and draw this across on NVIDIA. Okay, to look at the structuring in play, the bottoming formation that is being assessed by the participants right now, which would require a breakout up and over that 431.25. Okay, if you have had a difficult week, this has been one of the most volatile weeks in the market in recent history for Tesla, for Bitcoin, for NVIDIA. True. 8 to 10% prints to the downside on, or upside. Bitcoin 10%, NVIDIA down 8% in one day. Tesla down 9%. This is your threshold to beat on NVIDIA. Let's go back into Tesla. Is Tesla going to hold green buy line? Really simple, guys. As I look at it, it's lower time frames. Tesla had some bad news with the Elon conference call. We're looking at a busted pattern. She's not being accommodating at all. She's just not being accommodating. Okay, if we look at the grind here on the 50% target, this is a situation where there may be some control devices in play for the market, for Tesla. They may have put the automatic, the automatic transmission instead of the manual transmission, or just removed the Ferrari from the showroom floor. Potentially, but they can't tell everyone they have removed the Ferrari from the showroom floor. Or in this case, it would be a Tesla. As we look at the specific downward feature here, let's just reframe into and we did this for Tesla because she was as such. Some smaller trades definitely occurring in this zone, but as we see this just bleed out to the downside targets of that descending triangulation, let's note one thing. First of all, daily green byline. Okay, it's a level of calculated interest. We agree. It's confluent with what? With a downside target hit. Bears, congratulations. On the weekly, congratulate the Bears. You got it. What did you do this today? While we're trying to look at potential moves to the upside, etc., we see the specific hit to the downside. If this was your target and you just hit this after the cross under today, congratulations. It took you 9.05% to get there, which happens to also be a level of engagement for a green byline to the extent that we're going to see some reaction here on. So make sure, are we on it? You're within cents, guys. You're within centavos of this. Okay, look at this. You're within 0.06%. Seeing that level, that throttle engagement, that is a bear victory. Absolutely. We like the product. We like the general pizzazz. We love, guys, Teslas are nice cars. What I'm going to say is just the, there are certain challenges in the market, certainly. So 9% to the downside. What was I saying? 9% to the downside for Tesla, 9% to the downside for NVDA, 10% to the upside for Bitcoin. We like Bitcoin, technically speaking, but I'll take the volatility any place I can get it. What were the shared component features of Tesla, of NVIDIA, and of Bitcoin? What were the shared dynamics aside from the 5-second, 30-second? As we look at this this level, what's engaging here? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The bulls are going to engage on the specific green byline and on with a stop loss. You think you're going to have a stop loss? You're down 9.17. Yes. Let's look at the daily. Okay, the daily. We're pushing down and below. You're in some kind of a warning zone, big time. Sirens going off, indeed. Why? You've got that level of support. This is the cleanest hit we've had on this specific channel formation. Fact, yes. What had you in the clear so much you don't even care about what we're saying right now? You literally don't even care. It's literally completely irrelevant to you. We can sit here and talk about all the micro time frames, micro pattern, everything else. What's completely irrelevant? Made all this completely irrelevant. The 4-hourly capital control line, the RSI stochastic and MACD, RSI stochastic and MACD kernel derivative on the 4-hourly makes all of this additional side talk completely irrelevant. Okay, 15% to the downside. When the RSI stochastic and MACD on the 4-hourly time frame went bearish, boom, you're in the money 15% right now. We've mentioned that a few hundred times, a few thousand, a few hundred in the last couple of weeks, few thousand times in the number of the last preceding number of months, continually ingrained in you. If you're working on flash trades, well, that's one thing. If you're working on lower time frames, that's one thing. Does that mean forget your carry trades at all? I'm going to challenge you again and again and again and again and again as you see 15% big money moves in the market that are framed in with your RSI, stochastic, and MACD. And I'll talk about your carry trades while you're effectuating your flash trades, your quicker frequency, right? Shorter hold period trades on those lower time frames. We're going to talk about carry trades. We always will. I wanted Tesla to rock and roll up. True fact. Would have been great. What do we have though? First of all, the notion that shorts would occur yesterday right before earnings? No. Where do you short? Higher. Short, higher. You have a cushion? Yes. You have a cushion? Still could burn a bit if we really got those incredible earnings, right? Okay. What's engaging? Don't tell me. Do not tell me. Don't tell me that. What is that? Did you get your trade? Bulls get paid? Yes. Bulls getting paid on what? On the green byline on the weekly. Rock and roll it. Rock and roll it. What is nice about this? Well, it's a highly calculative level here. Fire nice green byline on the weekly. Paying. Amidst this kind of a day, man, come on. Come on. You got it right. You better believe it, huh? Boom, boom. And it's also in line with, guys, we'll also just call it, it's in line with the standard deviation, but the green byline's a separate calculative. The green byline's a separate kernel calculative aside from the standard deviation. Okay? When we see these hits, these levels, we pay attention. You better believe it. What's throttling right now? Man, yeah, I didn't know where to buy it. I had no idea where to buy it. I'm going to have to catch the next one. I had no idea where to buy it. $220.50. I'm going to have to catch the next one. Dang it. Nice trade. Now, what has become irrelevant? What has become irrelevant? Yes, $225.32. You're crazy. You have literally reached a level of lunacy. Look at this. There's no way it's going to go 2.25% to the upside. If you, listen up, own this, ask yourself one question. Do you own, it's a compound question, do you own a flash trade and a carry trade? Okay, divide it into two questions if you need to. It's a compound question. Do you own a flash trade? Did you just get paid on the daily? Yes, you did. Can you let it go for a profit and still be happy with the profit you're taking and still try and get it back up to your target? If you can't, what needs to change? What needs to change for you to have a carry trade and a flash trade, for you to be able to take your profit on your flash trade, the trade that gets out quicker, right? Did you schedule in 2 trades? I'm going to suggest to you that on a larger time frame dynamic, be it a 4-hourly and working into the daily, into the weekly, that you're scheduling in potentially. Okay, potentially. You're going to be looking at higher levels of capital being engaged at a daily line, potentially. Until you master this art, this potentially is a big, big trade. Amidst the 9% to the downside? Yes. Nicely done. Easy? No. Did you know where to buy it? Yes, you did. As a matter of fact, did we have confluence from the weekly to daily? Yes. I can pour all of the toppings on the ice cream someday and make it just keep talking about it, huh? Everybody's on a diet. No fun. Quit talking about desserts. Be cool. Green byline. Boom, 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 boom. Good hit? Yes. Now, you also assess on a 0.7, what do you need to do in terms of your micro trading? If you got tossed around and thrown around at lower time frames, what do you need to do? If you got thrown around and hammered in the zone, you need to, A, do your 100 rounds. I was going to tell you that it's going to respect you a little bit more. It's going to respect you a little bit more if you're, and you can take it that way. There's some invisible hand in the market. It's just going to start to respect you a little bit more if you do some more volume with it. What you're going to learn is what works and what doesn't work, right? Yes. Micro expansion, you bet it. But it seemed like it was such a big pattern, huh, beforehand. Okay, so 786.50, golden pocket 786 on the entirety here. If you're fighting the flow and we cover this a lot and you know this, but if we have a specific target to the downside, you guys got this in the back with an actual target marker on it, true? You did. Let's see this. And within threshold, yes, target marker is still noted. Literal target marker. Yeah, let's see. We'll go over that in a minute. What we will say is, as you look at, pay attention to these. You see this? Target, boom. Provided this morning? Yes. Okay. Target, weekly, standard deviation. What do we hit today? Just pay attention to the information provided. Target, weekly, standard deviation. Cool? Yes. Do you have a flash trade? Do you have a carry trade? That's the last thing that I'll state to you. In addition, we just typically don't want to be involved here long. But what have you done? We've hit within that dynamic. Within that dynamic, we have hit into a perfect entry long. True? Bravo. So celebrate the fact that our indicators are working. Top notch, okay? The same indicator that got you the bottom on NVDA? Fact. on this recent rebound? Yeah. A number of weeks ago, yeah. Same indicator that caught the bottom of Bitcoin? Yeah, fact. Yeah, fact. So amidst this tirade to the downside in Tesla after the pour down volcanic action from Tesla on the naysaying for the Cybertruck, caught the bottom today. Caught the bottom? Fact. Thus far, guys. Thus far. Do you have a carry trade? Do you have a flash trade? What's difficult to manage, but it's where your training rounds go. Lower time frames. This stuff's easy. This stuff's easy, guys. This stuff is easy. I promise you, I can sit down with someone and explain this to them who's never traded and who's in high school or junior high in about 2 days. Fact. I can teach them how to trade pork bellies on a green byline on a daily or a 4 hourly or a weekly time frame. True. Fact. It's just not complicated, guys. The lower time frames, that's where it's Action Jackson, Jackie Chan hands. And the best way to think about it is the following. Well, I need to put in enough time on the speed bag. Bam, 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 bam. To where a pro fighter, man, he was in the gym. He turned around and looked at me. I started hitting the speed bag. And he's turning around looking at who's in the gym. Now, you can say, I need to hit that speed bag just enough times until the speed bag really knows who I am. Yeah? What's the fact? That speed bag doesn't care who you are, guys. Okay? I need to hit the speed bag enough until it knows who I am. This is kind of a cool way to talk, but, you know, when you're putting in your rounds, your 100 rounds in your higher volume, is the market really figuring out who you are? You're really figuring out who the market is. You're going to get every stitch of that market down. Every swing, every hit, every angle down. When you put in the volume, the repetition, the needed, those needed necessary components, you're going to just find that we'll talk about the technicals continually. Fact? Yes. We'll talk about all the micro elements in play. Yes? How do we talk about a micro expansion and volatility? How do we talk about it? What do we say? Every time we talk about a micro level of volatility, what do we say about it? We say you need to be careful of them. True? Fact. It's just a fact. Who got rewarded here on this grind? It flushed out some retail. Well, who got rewarded here? We saw that. Best trade of the day, you got it. Yeah, we're going to call that. You got some nice pops. Boom, boom. Nice pops down to this specific level. This level of engagement traded. Okay, and who got rewarded? Well, the guy who was kind of reasonable. 0.25%, 0.25%, 0.25%. Really? 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. Yep, she's gone. 3 to the up, 3 to the down, that's it. Now, what did we just do? You see it, you know what we did, right? 2-part, what do we do? If you really want to talk about what are we forming now? We're going up or we're going down? We're supposed to be going up. We got to go up, huh? You sure? Why would we be going up? Was the time to get in now? Of course we're going up. No. What's in play on your screen right now? Based on probabilities, where are your best entries? What do you see in the market? Right now on the 5-second. Dead level, center, we see what? What are you forming and about to break out now on the right-hand side? You expand your screen, you got a cup and handle, trying to engage with a hurdle to the left. You have, as a matter of fact, we had an inverse head and shoulders. We just got back to the neckline, or we had a specific expansion that traded to the upside with a re-hit and a throwback, right? We had, well, of course we're going up here in this zone. Does that mean buy it here? You've got to be crazy. So Tesla settling into a little bit of better technical dynamic. We have what? Okay, I see. I see now. Which is what? Where's your pickup? Of course we're going up. Yeah. To what? Break this top line resistance. Fact? We called that in here. You saw that? At least getting to that level of resistance. Okay. And then what? and then pushing up and out and over into what? Preceding lateral resistance? Sure. Need to break out through what? On what pattern? Curvature and handle. Fact? Good. Now, you need to see that, like that, and not have to draw that. And you do. And is there more? Yes. But as you work on refining your technicals, just pay attention to the specifics that count. That was a nice trade. If you hit that daily, hit that weekly, that was a nice move. Boom. That overtook the quote-unquote best trade of the day. It just did. That's a heavy hitting son of a gun. Yeah, that's a heavy hitting son of a gun. Nice, nice, big cash entry possibility on anything you look at on the daily time frame. I don't care if you're looking at brand new Tacoma pickup trucks on a market that we have laid out in terms of price variability over a period of the last 6 to 8, 12 months. Yeah. Yes. What's a daily green byline? Boom, boom. You give it its credit. Give it its full function due. It's a calculative. It's not. You imagine having to calculate this? No. Now, what are we along? We're along a specific level on the daily. Tough pickup on the daily. What do you think? Level of support. Boom, boom. God, who's going to pick that up? Well, it's highly calculative. Fire and ice, boom, engaged. So, do you have a carry trade? Do you have a flash trade? That's the question. That's the name of the game. So, talking about speed bags, talking about ability to hammer in the markets. Supposed to be easy? Nah, negative. What's our glide line level of centralized level of resistance going on with that downward sloping channel? We got it. What's our let's see what we got. I think we're good. I like that daily byline. I'm glad we got there. Don't look at the 30-second. Please don't look. Don't look unless you have a position. Unless you already have a position, how are you compromised here? How is this pattern compromised, if and to what extent at all? How is it compromised based upon the preceding? It's a bull flag. We go, we go, we go. You be careful, you be careful, you be careful. Right? Pick up. Yes. Level of entry, you got it. It's a bull flag. We're going to trade the breakout. Wrong. Negative. Ghost rider, the pattern is full. You recognize your level of, guys, your threshold to the bottom. Traders placing in. Fine. Boom. I'm going to catch it. I got to stop. Let's test it. Let's see if it can work. But not up here, guys. Not up here. Targets to the downside, you betcha. Fact, you got it. Difficult, you got, come on. No. How's the 30-second and the 5-minute been all day long? Well, it's invited a specific type of calculative trader. We would agree, huh? Maybe a heavy levered could be, huh? Yeah. But as we look at busted pattern to the downside, we don't want to trade busted patterns. They're spoken of in an unfavorable light. Do we agree? Typically they are. Catchy on the lower time frames, higher volatility. Now you're going to be able to back off of this on your additional time frames. Does that mean I have to take on what, on your flash trade? If you're going to sweat it on your flash trade take at 0.7% from a perfect entry, I'm going to tell you guys this. On a perfect entry, like on the daily byline, green byline engaged on Tesla, if you're going to sweat it as to whether or not you should or shouldn't, or you have to really ask it in some sort of a concerning manner, then you might need 3 trades. You might need one level of trade that's going to literally, guys, one level trade that's going to allow you to take it even 2, maybe. If we talk about taking profits off the shelf, it's just you're going to get into some different dynamics and different frameworks as we look at a shift down on the green byline, which is going to adjust. It's just going to do that. That's how it calculates. We like that it calculates. It just picked up again, and it recalculated to the downside. We pay attention. First great hit. You need to work on the profit equation that you're looking at in terms of, okay, wait, I just want 0.25%, I want 0.5%, I want 0.7%. If you're in the money and you're looking at, but I just didn't make enough money, okay? Green byline daily. Rough stuff. Is it trading? It is tight. We agree. You're down and below that level of support. Bull's trying to enforce. Great trade of the day? Yeah, trade of the day. Let's go lower time frame, see what's going on. Alrighty. Overplaying. Level of support indicated along the bottom on the lower time frames. True? Yeah. Level of interest? You got it. Compromise. Great time not to get involved in a bull flag, huh? Up, out, and over. Who traded and let it go? Hey, no problem. Recognize the level of compromise interest? You got it. No problem. Level of interest where? Level of support. Ideally. Attempted lateral pickup? You got it. Driving down potential here? You got it. That is the daily green byline. Fact? Yes, indeed. Understanding we've got the level of support below. If you hit that like a Mack truck, the daily green byline, congratulations. Is she making it a little bit less comfortable for you right now? Slightly. We're going to get that 10 print today, 9.25% to the downside. So best trade we're going to note in terms of structural capacity that we look back at is going to be that the structural capacity of a trade, guys. The specific green byline on the daily. Structural capacity. How much cash could be thrown into that trade? Guys, is it a $1 million plus margin trade? Potentially. The structural capacity. As you look at a daily level, what's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin, what are you doing? Just running up and away to the upside from the, there you go. Nice action, Bitcoin. 2.28% in about 16 hours. Not bad. From that 200 weekly moving average. It's what we want to see. We'll take it. We will take it. That's been our key level of consideration. Fact? Fact. Nice to see. What did we get on the 4 hourly? Well, 4 hourly engaged. We had notice, let's call this notice of contact with the 20 moving average here with that red capital control line. Capital control line giving us an indication we'd likely hit that 20 moving average. Fact? Yes. What do we hit? The 20 moving average on the 4 hourly. Rebound trade. Boom, boom. Did it trade? Yes. Perfect short. Perfect short. Perfect short on the 4 hourly. You got it right. Sail it on home. Get busy up and over that 200 weekly. That's the name of the game. Inverse head and shoulders. You got it. Let's see what we got. Let's pay some attention to the screen real quickly. Hope you're all doing great. Had a good week. It was a high volatility week. We're excited about that. Just for the purpose, guys. Again, this is not to trade live off of. It's an 8 to 10 second delay. Believe that. It's not for purposes of trading live. I mean, come on. We appreciate YouTube for that, giving us that buffer. Inverted head and shoulders. So looking at the 29,584, the preceding level of resistance. Just time to get aggressive in terms of an upside for Bitcoin, huh? The true bull, huh? The true bull will do what? Will shop the assets that are still remaining with any upside potential after the other assets have gone down. Right? The ephemeral, it has to go up bull. Well, NVIDIA's down. Tesla's down. Bitcoin, you're all we have left, right? Just pay attention that we have the dynamic of the rising wedge a bit here. Yes? Without a doubt. But targets to the upside, yes. Golden pocket hit, boom. Already on this pattern, really an elevated level here that we would look at. We perfectly scored into that 50%. You guys will recall that. Right now, what's the name of the game? Remember, up and over is bullish. Multiple hits on that 200 weekly. It's been taking the whole candy shop. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, nicely done. Perfect. What's that? I have no idea. What is that? Highly precise level entry. Boom, on the daily cap line. I know which ones of you hit it. Congratulations. I know which ones of you hit it. Nice price action. Nice price action. NVDA. Oh, difficulty, huh? Retesting that 20 moving average again. NVDA, huh? Playing a little sloppy today along that 20 moving average. Just a fact. Those shorts have engaged at the preceding level quite a few times. NVIDIA just skidding downward. Let's take a look at this. Let's go Tesla. And we have the breach. Now, weekly pickup, pushing and throttling into the specific. We got the 10 print almost. Did we get the 10? Let me see if we got the 10 print. That's what I was concerned or interested in, was a 10 print. Yeah. We had a 9 point, right at a 9.69%. So the 10 print happening on Tesla. Solana doing well today. Noting Solana marching right along. Hey, nice to see that. So the first pickup was easy on Tesla on the daily. Second pickup, not so much. Not so much. He did not want you to carry out up and above. Now, in terms of the specifics, let's go to the lower time frame. Were we prepared for, if you drew out on your 15 second, prepare for a lower entry? Yeah. Prepare for price to potentially push down to that level? Yes. Right? So use your lower time frame dynamics to prepare you for or structure around potential issues as they are created or presented to you, let's say on this larger time frame, the daily or the weekly. Easily said, huh? Easily said. 4 hourly capital control line. Much, much easier said. Fact. True. Fact. What do we need to occur to really start moving up here? And we'll notice a 4 hourly, we'll notice that 217.63. You don't want to chop in the woods and say, I got the whole forest. Don't worry about it. Just make sure I have one spare axe and I got the whole forest. I'm going to go chopping in the woods. I got the whole forest. There's no problem. Just make sure I have one spare axe, right? Looking at the Tesla screen, there's a lot of red on that screen, huh? Yeah, ooh, a lot of red on that screen. I'm looking at the 4 hourly fire sale. Yeah, just a little bit of an opportunity at that 4 hourly fire sale if we can get down and below these levels here. This is tight trading, huh? You have to learn to get in and get out. I still got a $225.32. You're going to leave us hanging on this micro feature here. What do we have here in terms of the expression of the, bad could turn to worse, could turn to awful, huh? I'm going to tell you, if you're a bull, you know that today, specifically speaking, bad could turn to worse, could turn to awful. Fact. You want to quote me? Put it over the head, the door of headquarters. Bad could turn to worse, could turn to awful. Okay? You get, your CEO talking about the fact that you're going to have to wait like another year or two in terms of profitability on a project that's already years late. Bad could turn to worse, could turn to awful. Period. Fact, okay? It's not a joke, it's a fact. It is a fact. What do we got? Someone shorted BTC at 28774. Mabruk. Congratulations. Congratulations on anyone who's trading. That's the idea. That is the idea. So, prepared for this level pickup. Nothing about Tesla's being nice this morning. There's not a darn thing that's being nice except for it's one of those days. Huh? It's one of those days for Tesla. Bad could turn to worse, could turn to awful. But it was nice. Perfect green byline hit. What's engaging now? A green byline. Was it as nicely structured as the first time? No. Did it stop out the second round of traders? Yes. Did you pay attention to your orders? Between what it offered you on the take at the 0.2, 0.5, or 0.7, are you able to operate with a particular great first line hit? First line hit, boom, into a green byline. Are you able to operate in to a position to take profits and to try again? with the fee schedule that you're on, with the spread that you're looking at, and the amount that you're trading, are you able to operate in on a 1-for-2 basis? Okay. Are you able to, on your hit rate is 1-for-2, are you able to do that with your fees, your spread, which is going to depend upon your margin amount, and your take? What do you need to clear on your take to say I can go 1-for-2 on this line? No problem. What do you need to clear on your take, your profit in the market, to say, yes, I can do this? There is a literal calculative that you run through to literally decide, and you're going to get through it with the number of trades and say, well, I have done this 1,000 times or 100 times, and I kind of have a good idea of what I need. You know, you can set a bar and threshold, start to execute as such, and see if it satisfies your interest on, it's what I would recommend if you're not into calculatives. I would recommend you saying, okay, fine. I'm going to establish a carry trade. I'm going to establish a quick trade at a calculated level of entry, say a green buy line. I'm going to establish, I want a carry trade and I want a quicker trade, a flash trade. And you're going to say, okay, I'm going to execute these at 0.3. I'm going to execute these at 0.2. Now, if I execute at 0.2 on my flash trade, I have my carry trade up, which rebounds into it. That carry trade carries back down into and stops out at the entry level, and I'm out, depending upon your threshold here, but you need to schedule in and maintain, okay, you need to maintain for the equation to work out well. You need to maintain a consistent stop, right? Percentage threshold stop, percentage threshold take, and if you get into a differentiated calculative between the weight of your carry trade and your flash trade, you're going to be complicating the equation. So the more consistently you can approach something in terms of the percentage of your carry trade in relation to your flash trade, a consistent percentage in terms of what's making you happy, where you're going to take your flash trade, a consistent stop. It may take only 10. It may take only 10 trades for you to say this works or this doesn't work. Okay? If you are haphazardly approaching this, and every single time that you trade, you're not having a carry trade, you're not having a flash trade, you're not having consistency with your stop, you're not having consistency on your stop, your take, your ratio between your carry trade or in terms of the amount, your carry trade or your flash trade, and you're just literally confounding every variable and changing every variable every time, it could take you thousands of trades or more until you consistently address the problem and the questions at hand. Once you consistently do that, you'll have a very good answer. So if you have the question as in terms of whether or not, can I go for 1-for-2 on this? Can I go 1-for-2 on a specific entry here? When you have the question, you're telling yourself you're not being consistent with the tactics that you're deploying. As much as it would be a question for someone else, what you're doing is notifying yourself in having that question that you're not being consistent in the application of your trading. You're changing the variables to the extent that you're not going to be capable of coming up with a proper, quick, level-headed solution or an easily determinable solution. We agree? We agree. Not light talk. It's not. It is what it is. Okay. Not a great pickup. A great day for bears. Great day for bears on Tesla. You killed it. Without a doubt. Still got my $225.32 target up to the upside. I just do. It's going to be for testing purposes. May it rain down. What will that tell me? That's going to tell me that Tesla didn't want to honor a specific entry above. And I am tracking it. I'm tracking it. Okay? Period. Volatility expression is really, really tough this morning on Tesla. You draw into an expansion if you prefer to. The support line pickup, holding, but everything pushing to the downside. We agree? Yes. Now, as you were to look at the preceding This is just a difficult, what we want to say is a beautiful open on NVIDIA. We caught the short in terms of that. Let's not digress. Let's reframe everything. If you can compartmentalize your trading in terms of the sufficiency or the standardization of your variable inputs and continually do that and present yourself with a framework that you can answer the questions that you have, bravo, that's the way to do it, guys. If you're consistently changing the variables and consistently operating with some sort of a sporadically, emotionally driven or otherwise a level of engagement, then you need to reframe your level of engagement. Get it in terms of the practicum. Get things to a level where you can engage consistently. I'm at the free throw line. I take 3 dribbles every time. I lift it up straight in front of my head. I shoot it, and my toes are both perfectly on the line. I've eaten. I'm well hydrated. I've got all of the variables setting together, and I'm continually just off to the right. I keep hitting the right side of the rim. Eliminate all the variables that you can, right? Other than I'm thrown in a million different directions. I have no proper approach to the game. I'm just I may throw it backwards from the free throw line. It's the equivalent if you're looking at this in terms of, well, sometimes my carry trade versus my flash trade, the percentage is going to differ. Sometimes the percentage of my stop loss is different. Sometimes the percentage of what I want in terms of what's going to satisfy me on my flash trade, my quicker trade, sometimes it's different. Sometimes be a wrecking ball in terms of finding the right answer. If it's all the time, it's now every time, just that level of precision in the market and eliminating those variables. That's what you're trying to come up with as a solution for the variables. So I just encourage you to take them more, to take that additional step in terms of the approach to any questions that you have. Don't let it be a question for someone else. Try this. Don't let it be a question for someone else. If you have a question regarding your trading, let it be an indication that there's somehow a process that's in place for you to reframe the variables in play and say, what am I doing to where because you're all intelligent, you're very intelligent. So what are you doing? What are you doing? If you're as intelligent as you are and you're not framing the question properly, you have too many variables in play and you're consistently throwing, a different type of potential kerosene onto the different type of fire or whatever that variable approach is, you've got to have it at a level that you can discern, effectuate the consistency thereof, and whatever question you have in the market, look at what you're doing. Just look at what you're doing and realize that it's an indication that you may like that consistency, that framework. And that's easy to say, but I'm trying to give the heads up that yes, if you have a question, it's probably due to the way that you're executing something. Otherwise, the answer would be clear. You have a crossover strategy, it's not working, all right? But you've been using it for 6 months or 3 months, okay? You have an entry on your, and particularly strategically as we look at our specific entries on our trades, as we talk about a flash trade versus a carry trade. There's a 6-hour powering in on that specific capital control line. Nicely done, right? Nicely done. That's a nice hit. 0.5%. So as you want the consistency from the market, let's just say this. Let's wrap it up like this. If you want the consistency from the market, are you being consistent in terms of your application of your trade dynamics to the point where you're solving these variables and it's just really a matter of how you're engaging in the market? You're consistently engaging in the market. You're either getting consistent or inconsistent results. Is the inconsistency based on your behavior? That's the one thing that we need to look at, is the inconsistency based on your behavior. I'm going to encourage you, the 100 rounds. Look at NVIDIA, still on that 30-minute. We weren't wrong to look at this level. That is the level on NVIDIA, right? Difficult week in the market, but a great week in the market. As we look at the volatility of Bitcoin, 10% to the downside, NVIDIA 9% to the downside, Tesla 9 to 10% to the downside. These are the levels of volatility that we want, without a doubt. Bottom line, as you explore into Look at the common features and do this. Look at the common features of what caught every one of these moves. And I expressed this before we got into the micro, etc. But what are the common features that caught every one of these big moves this week? Every one of them. Now, is it guaranteed it's going to happen every time? No. But what are the common features? The calculators, the RSI, stochastic, and MACD on that 4 hourly caught every one of these. Bam. That's Tesla. Boom. Just a fact. Unknown variable, of course. But we have to note the fact that, bam, there's NVIDIA. Boom. Okay? Here's Tesla. Bam. Okay? That RSI, stochastic, MACD, red. Bears in control of the RSI, stochastic, MACD. Here's Bitcoin to the upside. Bam. Boom. On that blue printed line, that RSI, stochastic, and MACD, which turned into a bearish feature, which is trying to be pushed here after the recontact, and we're trying to flip that back into a bullish mode. So, perfect, easy, no problem trading. It's a perfect week for us because we get to challenge ourselves. Okay, we get to challenge ourselves. You guys concur? Yes. What does that mean for us? I mean, we want more volatility. We asked for it, didn't we? We've been asking for it. What did you get a phone call on? You got a phone call on your fire sale. True? Yes. Don't worry about the calculators when the phone calls go off. Okay? But you got a phone call on the 4 hourly fire sale. Nice to see. We've tight stop loss. Good. Somebody doing tight stop loss. Hey, work the magic. The magic is in. And I'm just going to tell you, if you've been around any traders or you traded personally and you can schedule into something that is guys, it's me and it's some guys that I've had the pleasure of being around who are just some of the best in the business. It is, and we look at this, looking at a decent recoup on NVIDIA. Again, threshold to beat up and over the top would be the 431.29. Okay. Looking at a cupature and handle formation. Preceding flat bottom support, no extraneous pressures per se, besides the news that we got on chip limitations as concerning China. There's a little bit of an open door on that, I believe, if you look at the details. A little bit of an open door on that. Taking a look at the framework for the volatility expression on the 15-second for Tesla, what are we aware of? Tesla she's fighting the fight. You hate to think this, guys. Guys, you hate to think this. Let's think it. Let's think it, okay? You hate to think this. Well, let's think this. Now, level to beat for the bears, or for the bulls. Really, guys, bears engaging on resistance fact. Level to beat for the bulls, yes. What do we have ongoing here? Do we have to draw it? No. What is this? Cupature and handle, right? Can't call that inverse head and shoulders, too light on the left-hand side, so cupature handle, yeah. So a little bit of a fix going on. That's going to be the question, and we'll end the stream with the following. What is the notion that we don't really want to really explore? That if and when, to the extent that the unknowns in the market, pay attention to this, okay? Pay attention, please. Turn on the audio phone big time for this. Just explore the possibility. Without being a naysayer or conspiracy theorist, put yourself in the boots of, or in the shoes of Joe Schmo market maker, all right? Joe Schmo market maker has inventory. True? Yes. Joe Schmo market maker has individuals at trade desks and is, we would hope, properly hedged into positions to cover risk for Joe Schmo's hedge funds, Citadel or otherwise. You know where this is going. So Joe gets surprised with some Elon Musk news on Tesla. Joe doesn't like that. In fact, Morgan Stanley and other people have been talking about a $400 price target to the upside. $400 price target to the upside. Fact. So Joe's traders at Joe's hedge fund are sitting there and got a little bit surprised by some bad news. If they weren't surprised, that's a problem in and of itself if they had any prior knowledge. We know that. But let's leave open the possibility that our micros may be a little bit more difficult today as Joe has to recoup. Joe hedge fund has to Joe market maker was thrown into a situation where Joe could have been, and his whole firm could have been incorrectly positioned. Fact? we're not going to talk about Joe like that. We love Joe, right? Joe's making the market for us every day. But Joe, if you don't keep your T's crossed and your I's dotted, Joe, who's going to notice it at some point? Yeah, not just us, guys. At some point, there has to be a level of reinforced mechanism with some, I don't know, maybe some market intelligence units or something. I have no idea. But at some point, Joe, if he's a little bit too squirrely and everything's beating a probability, and if Joe's just stacking in the cash or Joe's hedge fund after Joe gets surprised and decides to brutalize market participants who are even trying to trade any kind of a pattern framework with any kind of a probability framework, I bet you eyes are on Joe. I bet you eyes are on Joe. That's what I would bet. So leave open the possibility that these are subject to, when we say these patterns, these rebound moves, these trading volatility levels, they are subject to Joe hedge fund, Joe market maker. Joe market maker wakes up. Let's say Joe market maker has the #1 performing hedge fund in the world. Let's say it's Citadel. Let's say Citadel just got 15 guys, 1,000 million, 150 million. I don't care if it's 1.5 billion wiped off on a move, a surprise by Elon, whoever Joe may be. I mentioned Citadel, could be anybody. But just explore the notion that the technicals that you see frame themselves when we're pushing below a support and is intentionally grinding and flipping people out. When again, we're intentionally pushing below support. If it doesn't raise a critical eye for you, I would say at some point there must be a threshold by someone who's paying attention. Like you're literally going to just hammer every trader as we look at it. Okay, it's one thing to have a busted pattern versus we had 15 consecutive busted patterns in a row, right? Just pay attention to it. You're not the only one who's going to notice this stuff, guys. So Joe's not going to have a heart and a soul. Fine, go make the profit all day long, do what you want to do. But we're going to pay attention if we see continual busted patterns that just violate the norms of technical analysis. True? Yeah. We're going to pay attention. Don't put anything past Joe, guys. Don't put anything past Joe. When you trade, you know Joe's in the market. You know Joe's in charge of the market. Don't put anything past Joe. Okay, in terms of that, I'm just saying that. Understand. I mean, Joe wakes up, he got 1.5 billion to the downside. It's off the books, don't worry about it. We got 10 days to make this up. What, Joe? I own this hedge fund, don't worry. Joe would say, it's off the books right now. We can cover it. We can cover it we got 10 days to cover it. What? You guys think it's just a hey-ho, beautiful day up in Market Maker Central. You got 10 days to make it up and it's off the books right now, so it really doesn't matter. Well, fantastic, huh? Just don't put it past somebody in the market who doesn't have potentially direct oversight. I'm not conspiracy, guys. I'm not into the conspiracy movement. I love Wall Street. Love it. I love hedge funds. Love them. But I've come across a few Joes. It's off the books. We got 10. We're down $1 billion. It's off the books. We got 10 days to make it up. Well, how are we going to make it up? How many traders are in the market? You guys, just be prepared. It may not be sunshiny days. Now bring that up because you push us like this, Joe. Don't push me below my green byline. You're gonna have to come up with some excuse, huh? Push me 0.77% on my green byline on my second one. Blame it on Joe. Blame it on Joe. Easy pickup, not an easy pickup. Busted channel, busted channel. Intentional, what is it? Intentional grounding. Yeah. Quarterback takes it back. You know, what does he do? Instead of throwing it to anybody on the field, he literally just throws it straight into the ground, huh? Guys, if they're going to do it on the football field, they're probably going to do it. I don't know, guys. I don't like that move. I don't like it. We got eyes on you, Joe. We got eyes on you. Huh? We have to, huh? We have to a little bit. Joe going to mess with, huh? Joe helping reinforce our green byline. I got to tell you on that daily green byline, we weren't prepared to roll like that, Joe. You show us, huh? Breach again. Breach. I mean, come on, guys. breach to the downside. Joe taking the cash from the market. Breach recovery. Joe taking the cash from the market. Breach back to the downside. All right, traders a little prepared. Where we're going. Lateral pickup, I'll give it to Joe. All right, hold on. Well, no, I'm not happy here either, Joe. You're 0 for 1, 2, 3 in this zone. You're 0 for 4 with me, Joe, here. Now, Joe needs to make it up to me. That's how I feel, Joe. I got a target of $225.32, huh? And this is what Joe's going to use. I say Joe hedge fund, huh? He's going to use this. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the guy who won't give up, wants a 2% throwback up to the top of the. He wants us to fill his orders back up to $225.32, right? So that's the way me and Joe roll. That's how Joe gets away with it, guys. That's that ephemeral, imaginary hedge fund owner or market maker. I will use the word citadel. Let it be whomever. Let it be whichever one of them it may be. But you understand, being in this category, let's mark this, being in the category of wanting, no, I got an upside target, $225. I got a 2%, I want 2% on my entry here. All right? What does that do? Even if Joe is or is not, okay, is or is not, try not to be continually the guy who's just saying, no, I got the 225.32, that's it. 225.32, period. We're going up. I want to get paid, okay? Try and be more reasonable. You can do that through effectuating proper technique, limited stops, guys, tight stops. Tight stops, not limited. Tight stops. And in terms of that, consistent variables in your trades. If you see this level working out, the 225.32 every day of the week on whatever you're trading, just be prepared for one thing. Be prepared for the fact this is a bad day for Tesla. Bad conference call. So take some fundamentals into the equation. With that said, do I really need to be thrown around like this? Not necessarily. Huh? Are we prepared to operate underneath a level of preceding support like this? Yeah, but guys, I'm going to note for the record, and just a suggestion is just don't always be the guy who's putting all the eggs in one basket to the upside, okay, on a day that does buck the trend. But when we see a real problem like what we saw with the conference call for post earnings on Tesla, just be prepared for the fact that it may be an opportunity for. I mean, guys, you have to understand, if you were surprised, who wasn't surprised? You could properly hedge it. Fine, there's a solution to it from a market maker or larger institutional standpoint, but pay attention to the fact that that cost them money, and it may not have been a simple routine to do it. So when you have people waking up who could be underneath, from Morgan Stanley on down, Morgan Stanley just came up with a $400 price target. $400 price target. We're at 220. This was a short number of weeks ago. So when you have an institutional framework that's looking straight up and people just got cost a lot of money, and we start seeing busted patterns every which way, just be prudent, be wise, okay? Don't be suspicious, but do understand the market that you're participating in. I mean, you'd be in a market, honestly, guys, you'd be in a market, a real market, and you'd be looking around and you say, well, man, half the people in this market just lost money. If you're in a real physical market, you're going to have some agitated folks there. You're going to have some difficult times. Never overexpose at any higher price. You got it. What is the bottom line? The bottom line. Where do we short? Higher. Where do we long? Lower. Bottom line. Continue to maintain that level of decorum in the markets, okay? Let's look just one more time at the level engaged. This was a push. I'm ragging on a market maker, which I have to say the first hit into this level was perfect. The first hit was perfect into the daily buy line in Tesla. So I can't complain about that at all, can I? No. I just don't like to see people thrown around like you on a level of support grind. You get back into it, sure, but is that as necessary as this is necessary? As this is necessary? Come on, guys. Not necessarily, huh? So we're we're going to pay attention, and we should pay attention, because as we're interested in the volatility, if there's a component at all, pay attention. And this can apply definitely on Bitcoin. We saw some recent commentary on this with FTX. You got it right. Let's bring it home to Bitcoin. Looking at the framework of an FTX that wanted to shield away from any or place price at Bitcoin, keep it below, quote unquote, or whatever the mechanisms were that were in play, right? We've seen some malfeasance on the crypto level. We know that there are some investigations going on the institutional equity side of things, stocks, correct? What's up? Against Citadel? I'm providing mirror commentary, without a doubt. But when you're looking at people who are upside down in a market, you start to ask yourself, how many people are just killing the market every day? Even the big guns, they're not killing the markets. A lot of them aren't doing that well. A lot of them had big problems up through last year. Anyone who got tech right got a pat on the back. But when you have big players that get cost money and they're making the wrong calls, Morgan Stanley got hammered yesterday in terms of their stock price. That's fine. Happens. Happens to the best of them. Happened. Not necessarily the best of them, right? Now, it's just a fact, or else they wouldn't be in the position they're in. And so as you look at the dynamics involved, just appreciate the fact that you're in a market that's run by human beings that wake up, and just as you were surprised or not, for whatever other reason in the world, I mean, some of these people are under investigation. Literally. I mean, conspiracy theorists, some of these people are under investigation. They're literally having their private communications, literally your private communication, think of that. Is it Citadel? You figure out whoever it is. Whoever it is. Citadel having their private communications investigated and fighting to keep the private communications on WhatsApp away from the feds who are investigating. Maybe we should make up some more, some more potential issues about what could be going on in the market. I see it from a technical standpoint. I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. You got a clean, clear level of support. You just got to defy gravity. I mean, what is it? You have to defy gravity to get down to $218.66. I mean, So if you're getting pushed around, just understand guys behind the market could be a little pushy. Fair enough? Fair enough. They could be a little pushy. Sometimes they're going to be right on. Sometimes they're going to be right on. So we get kind of a two-tiered breakout, we agree? This is micro, just looking at the patterning involved, 5 second, 15 second, just going through the micro. Now what did pay again? We got to talk to that guy, huh? That guy at the control desk for the market maker. Like, you're going to push us down this far and say we still held this line? Come on. Come on. Now, what do we really get pushed around here? From the level that we saw could be problematic to this level here, you got pushed 0.35. You just did. I don't like that kind of push. It's a clean pickup, isn't it? I don't like that kind of push. That's the bottom line. That's why you're hearing me go a little bit after this level here. Understand the market, quote unquote, can do that to you, and just understand that it's not just necessarily the market that can do that to you, right? What engaged? 4 hourly? Didn't it? Didn't we ask for it and didn't it? So let's resolve the issue with the fact that we're programmed up a little bit around this, just in terms of a fire sale line in the 4 hourly. True fact, okay? So when you look at, well, we didn't even really hit it. Here you would have gotten a phone call. You got a phone call. 4 hourly on Tesla. Just to look at the reason we push and pull a little bit on this and calculate through these pickup levels, okay, is going to have to do with the fact that sometimes we're dead on with the pickups, and other times we're going to get some flex. We will get some flex. So we're seeing this level pick up again in line with the target hit and satisfaction. Let's see here. When you have a point, what is this, guys? A 0.9. It's within New York Institute of Finance. I'll give it to them. It's within a 1% on the macro. Shall we give it to them? It's difficult when you're on the lower time frames, right? But New York Institute of Finance, pro level, we discussed it, is going to say you got a 1% threshold. Just makes it difficult. Just make up a new word. It makes it difficult and tough. Difficult and tough. It's probably what they're doing at their market maker desk. It makes it whatever. In terms of this, what's the key consideration here? That you're going to have some flex and push. Okay. If we can bootstrap in like on the 4 hourly, a different level of consideration, so be it. Did that effectuate itself now? Yes. Top time frames, 4 hour, 6 hour, daily and weekly, yes. Won't be the same on, that's on Tesla and Bitcoin. Won't be the same. So, bottom line is good volatility. We will note Tesla in a period of, and please pay attention, as we look at the 15-minute on Tesla. It's just a nice ride down. As we will note on Tesla on a big day that we had a little bit of difficulty in terms of the technicals. I think we'll agree. It seems to have lost its composure inexplicably a few times. If you did extremely well, even amidst the loss of composure, as we will just call it, well, it seems to have lost its composure a few times. Technically speaking, it seemed to have booted and punted retail traders. A lot of people are interested today as well. We agree there's probably a lot of interest in Tesla because it's down 10%. We know people who love to short Tesla. They love to do nothing more than short Tesla. So, is it possible that they needed to clear out the field a little bit? Possible. When we look at the specifics here, I'm going to encourage you to look at the fan formation, not a GAN fan. You can draw it as a GAN, but look at the fan formation. Anytime that you see this an unexplained march up, okay, the flatter that this line becomes in terms of your fan, the more you need to be a bit cautionary. But as long as we're breaking through support to resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, level of support, you got it. Next level to beat, resistance. And what's the fact here is we start to pay a cautionary level of attention as we begin to slope flat and definitely up, as we begin to achieve a flat level of resistance. And as we start to slope upward, this becomes an unattractive dynamic. The more flat that we become on these. If we're essentially looking at a fan dynamic, what do we like to see? We like to see a rocket ride, boom, to the upside. We just do. If you haven't traded fans, get Murphy's book, Technical Analysis, Financial and Future Markets. Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Great place to be involved? No. Who just got stopped out? It's a tough day to say who just got stopped out. Bulls along a level of support. Marching up through this zone, though, right? You see from the array seat, boom, here, the array seat, level of, we'll call resistance, and this is going to be multi-time frame in terms of the differentiation here, right? But you're seeing this grind to the upside. Anytime that you see that grind to the upside, be prepared. What do we have? Topping formation, easy stuff. Just at least consistent in terms of these topping formations coming into play. We concur? We concur. Now, in terms of the framework, we're going to note the daily was a perfect hit to the upside. Perfect amidst the volatility. We're going to note the second hit really pushed and tried our patience. Yes. Now, we were prepared for a lower hit here. We were. It's tried our patience after this move here. We're just going to say it as a matter of fact. 0.34%, so within $1. You had to have essentially $1 of a stomach on your entries. Yeah? You had to have $1 in terms of a threshold tolerance in terms of that entry. You know what it looks like. You know what's going on. You guys, that's the easiest thing to say. You spend enough time with charts, you know what it looks like, you know what's going on. Fact, without a doubt, it goes on. We know this, right? So, into the dynamics, let's touch base on Bitcoin one more time. On the 5-minute, looking for, and we got that specific, and the big ticket item on Bitcoin. Let's head back over to our charts here. Let's see, Tesla, NVDA. Let me see how we're doing on our specific downside. This was the chart I shared with VIP this morning. Okay, this was the chart. And of course, it's going to do this to us, isn't it? Don't give your VIP specific exact targets that they're literally going to have to go hit. So while this is a great lesson here, because while you just got hammered on the lower time frames on this pickup here, what did you exactly go down to? Well, we're hating on the hedge funds. Structurally speaking, guys, this is data that's produced. This is data that's produced. You can get here without doing this, and you can get here without doing this. So my complaint's a little bit different than the fact that, well, we perfectly hit our target at the 38.2. Fact, yes. Delivered to you all this morning. Perfect pickup at the 38.2. Yes. Do we have any complaint here? None. My complaint is how we got there. My complaint is the visual accompanying data set that's provided to us. Takeaway, just understand, these are different levels. Okay, these are different levels of data that are transmitted in terms of the specific. You guys see your visuals fluctuate all the time. You see a line that pops up to the upside, a breakout, and decides to just go like this and wiggle to the downside. This is data. Okay, so complaint, is it a save feature? Is it, guys, what I'm going to say is exact target on the 38.2. So VIP, you're covered on that. Nice level of engagement. Again, I don't like how we got there. For the record, I don't like how we got there. And if I like how we get there, I'll tell you I like how we got there. We shouldn't expect it maybe to be all just guns blazing easy. I don't want easy trades. I just want consistent technical, something I can rely upon. We're already above, heads and tails above the rest in terms of our technical approach. I just want, when I want something, it's just because it typically will keep good, solid traders happier. You know, and with that said, if you had your specific target here at that 38.2, congratulations. So you're happy and there's no complaint, right? Breakout needed 221.50. Yeah. Decent move. Fan, here you go. There's old Joe. You think? But what do we talk about? I'm going to give him a little credit right now before we just throw him under the bus. I'm not going to throw every hedge fund under the bus. Okay, but what do we talk about? There's a nice move. We like it, yes. What did you get? Rewarded with the preceding, right? This is a lateral pickup. I mean, you got to have a lateral pickup. No problem. A little bit of a push. It picked those up. Nice. We just talked about this on the level above. Fact? So if you stacked at the lateral, easy, maybe not easy. We'd like to see the rocket push up. They just may find a way to shut me up today, huh? What do you think? They could just find a way to shut, just $225.32. That's it. That's all he wants. That's all they want. $225.32 and they're gone. It's no problem. Possible, huh? Now, preceding flat top, let's get back into technicals. Preceding flat top, did we catch it? Almost. Telling us probably on a time frame, we got it. There you go. 15 second, we got it. Good. Yeah? What is that indicative of? Well, the bulls are in the market. So your fan procedure playing well on what? Now being expanded here. Note the ability of it to expand, breaking back down through to a preceding level of resistance based upon the array. Boom. Nicely done. So bulls appear to be in the market, and what? Flat top resistance is indicative of the fact that they are in the market. And Scotland in the house. What's going on in Scotland? Hope you're doing well today. As we spend time digesting the technicals and going through the framework of the trade ops, the opportunities in the market, I would encourage you never to be overexposed at any higher price. I will remind you yesterday on Tesla, before we closed out into this specific hammer trail to the downside, to quote unquote, do not trade this if it's going to hurt you. If you got hurt in the market, that is going to be something that you're going to own 100%. That's just it. Anytime you're delving into the unknown, just be prepared for the fact that it could hurt you in the market. Deal? Very easy. I'm not here to be soft with anybody. I want you to be happy in the market. I want you to, first of all, I want you to enjoy the market. Okay? And I want what? And I mean this sincerely for each and every one of you guys. For each and every one of you, I want you to enjoy the market and what? And I want you to enjoy your profits in the market. That is the bottom line. If we can accomplish that, okay, and that, guys, is job number one. It's not, let's add on to this, let's add on to that, let's do this here, well, let's accommodate this over there, let's do that or this or that or this or that or that. No, I don't want you anything else than for you to enjoy the market and enjoy your profits in the market. That's the bottom line. That's my goal. Okay? That's just the way that this group is framed, and that's just what I'm going to continue to reinforce. And if I see any kind of technical digression or otherwise, well, that's just what it is. Flat top resistance, okay? And we have the opportunity to build out a right shoulder. Fact? Yes. Fact. And guys, you own it. I want to tell you, you own it. Okay? Okay, and be big enough to own it. You want to throw at the market however you want to throw at the market, be big enough to own it. Okay? Deal? You're going to throw at the market the way you want to throw at the market. But be big enough to own it, because you're going to hear from me, don't do this if this hurts, along a level of support. True fact. So if you do it, own it. No problem. There's a reason I'm going to say something or do something in the market, I promise. I promise. There's going to be a reason that I'm going to say it. So if you are in a position to just say, if you did it, just own it. If you went long on support, whatever it is, just own it. No big deal. Is it personal? You got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. Is it personal? No. I want you to enjoy the market, and I want you to enjoy your profits in the market. That's the bottom line. Okay. Easy does it. Cupature and handle still the level to get out up and over. 431.30. 431.30. Got it? If you got into Tesla or anything else, any other kind of problem in the market, I'm going to tell you, if you got into any other problem in the market, own it. Own it. Deal with it. It's you. Deal with it. Fact? Cool. Yes. London says this. Whatever. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt in the market. True fact. How are you structured in the market? What's your profile look like? How are you structured in the market? What does your profile look like? What's your profile look like? How are you structured in the market? Profile in the market. I'd pay attention to that. I'd pay attention to that. What your profile looks like in the market. Okay? Throw caution to the wind. Let's start up another fire. Let's get involved in whatever trade it might be. Well, guys, just focus on solid technicals. Focus on the things that matter in the market. Okay? Focus on the good things in the market is the bottom line, okay? Pleasure to have all of you in VIP and trading. I know some people are trading. I know some people who are talking about trading. If you're trading, you're trading. You're not talking about trading. This is a place where we trade. Okay? So I'm going to challenge you because why? Because I want you to what? Number one, I want you to enjoy the market. And number two, what I want you to do, I want you to enjoy your profits from the market. That's it. That's it. Cool? Cool. If that's the overall goal, we can deal with that. Yeah? Proficiency on Bitcoin. Who's surprised to see this move back up to this level of resistance? Who? No one. No one's surprised to see that level hit back up to the top of Bitcoin. Okay? Powell says inflation is still too high and lower economic growth is likely needed. Lower economic growth is likely needed to bring it down. That is from CNBC. Overperformance here. I know traders who are trading, and I know traders who are talking about trading. You're going to trade. Beautiful. Do it. Why would I be like that? Why would I be like that? Because I prefer the guys who are going to trade and the girls who are going to trade. You got it right. Not who are going to sit and talk about trading. And I can find that on a playground, you know? I can find that on a playground. Get busy with it. Trade. Impress yourself. Impress yourself. Not a big deal, but it is if you don't want to trade. And I'm saying that, guys, why? Because I want you to, as we look at Bitcoin in the 5 minute, I want you to look level of engagement on the specific golden short line. I want you to enjoy the market, and I want you to enjoy your profits from the market. Is the bottom line. So, if a little particular about how to get there, it's highly calculated. It just is highly calculated, and I want you to show up in the market. Bottom line. That's the goal. No distractions. Focus, 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 focus. Now, NVIDIA, we've got the breakout level to the upside as we look at leaving the day. Technically speaking, you got it right. Technically speaking, you got it right. And I just encourage you, if you're shy at all from the market, okay, if you're a little bit shy, gun shy of the market, what's the answer to that? 100 rounds, okay? 100 rounds. Get into it. Lay into another 100 rounds. No big deal. No problem. No problem. Okay? Just do another 100 rounds. Get into it. Get busy. Psych yourself up. Say, this time I'm going to get it, and I'm going to start becoming more consistent. I'm going to raise my level of participation at the margin level on each trade. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get down 4 consecutive trades this time, and I'm going to start stepping up my level of involvement in the market, right? If you're not on that path, then you got to get there. Nothing else is going to make your fourth quarter for you. Nothing else is going to make your 2024 for you. Okay? I want you guys to do well. Okay? You have the most intelligent group. You've got such strong intelligence skills to get up, out, and through any challenge that the market is going to throw at you. I just really want you to kill it. So we're looking at a flat top resistance on Tesla. We're looking at a flat top resistance on Bitcoin. So as you look at your charts, please make sure that your charts have on Tesla flat top resistance at around the 222.36. Please mark that. Focus 222.36. Focus 222.36 on the 15-second. Copy. Okay, $222.36 is breakout level, and has a little bit of frustration here to the left. Recoup on this level would be critical, we would say, but we're also noting the technical dynamics in play on Tesla today been a little bit ferocious. Yes? We'll note the fact that frustration at this fan level, and we're essentially going to have to play into a different dynamic other than just the fan to get up, over, and out. Why is that? Because we have a rising level of resistance. Fact? Yes. Fact. Okay. What's going on here? What is this? What are the 2 or 3 patterns in play? Topping formation, descending wedge. Yes? Anything else going on? Almost. What? Parallel carry down, resistance to support? Yes. Expansion? Possible. Broadening formation? Right. Preceding level here, huh? Deja vu? Careful. Bottom line, careful. She just had this stair-step opportunity there. Bulls engaged, yeah, with a stop. This is a tough level, technically speaking. If they want this, just mark in this level of resistance to beat with a decent inverse head and shoulders upside trajectory. Yeah, boom. Not surprised to see. We just got this, boom, move here, right? Topping formation, bam. So bears getting paid on that level. Nice to see. Let's go completion here to the Fibonacci extensions to the downside, see where we're picking up. And again, congrats to anybody in the background who caught the move down to the 38.2. Precise laser guided entry on our features. It was literally down to the exact cent. So nicely done. Nicely done. And in the context of where we are at and the level to beat on Tesla noted, please pay attention on as well. The specifics for NVIDIA, $421.16. rather $431. Let's look at it together. $431.17 level to beat on NVDA. Okay. $222.42 level to beat on Tesla. 15-second on Tesla shows well. NVIDIA, we have the 3-minute showing well. Okay, let me see if I can back out to the 3 minutes, still catch it. I cannot catch it on the 3 minutes, so you got to dig in lower on your move on Tesla potentially. As we look at the breakout targets there, just notice that it's requiring us to be a little bit more zoomed in and focused on the Tesla chart today, which has been very catchy on the lower time frames. We agree? Yeah. Seeing a pickup at that 50%, fact, yes. On Tesla, based on the topping formation and targets to the downside, you see that whiplash, boom, boom. You see that level engage, go to the wicks, boom. You see that 222.73, bam. Quick take, rough stuff, guys. So, let's see what we got. Well, we'll keep it up for the maximum completion to the downside. All right. So as we reframe into this week, we amidst everything going on, amidst Powell throwing some water on the fire, right? Let's reconfirm one thing. It's a great time to focus on the markets. It really is. I'm excited to have the ability to focus on the markets with you. It's a pleasure as always. And I'm going to go get busy, hit some iron. And the big ticket item here is the original crushed it on the daily. If you did well on this hit on the daily, I'd like to personally know about it. Me personally, I'd like to personally know that you're using the tools and that you did well on this. I'd personally like to know about that. Otherwise, I don't even know if you're using the tools, you specifically, at all. Did you do well on this first hit? It was beautiful. I'd even like to know if you did well on the push below the second hit. I'd like to know if you have a carry trade and you had a flash trade. I'd like to know how you're progressing. Absolutely. It's why the group is here. It's why we're doing this. I'd like to know. I'd like to know. We'd all like to know. No holding back. Hey, way to go, guys. Excited to be able to bring you the tool that can give you a nice big trade, boom, on that first hit. Second trade, challenging. What do we hit? I'd like to know if you hit the 4-hourly, if you got a phone call on the 4-hourly on Tesla on the fire sale. I'd like to know. That's valid. I'd like to know. Can you hit a fire sale on the 4-hourly? Yeah. Can you hit a daily line? Yeah. Green buy line? Yeah. Can you hit a specific green buy line on the weekly? Yeah. Then I'd like to know. I'd like to know you're doing well. I want you to what? I want you to enjoy the market. I want you to enjoy your profits in the market. That's the bottom line. I'm going to go hit the iron while we see our levels play out, while you know the levels of resistance, and I got to do that. Got to do that. Go hit the speed bag, hit the iron here for a minute. And you guys take care of yourself. Nice, just caution in terms of the specifics on Tesla. Just don't do it if it's going to hurt. And yeah, Elon showed up a specific way with a lot of caution as we look at, looks like up, over, and out on Bitcoin. Way to solidly express a closeout. Who's long over the 200 weekly moving average? Who's long over the 200 weekly moving average? I hope you guys are long over the 200 weekly moving average. I hope we can get some more upside as Bitcoin bucks the trend. Yeah. Solana, one of our key focals. Always paying attention to Solana. 8% to the upside. One of our mainstays. Nicely done. 200 weekly on Bitcoin. Good to see that. Rock and roll. Good job, guys. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. We will, guys, be speaking to you soon. I hope all is well in terms of your levels of exposure, your specific consistency that you're hitting the market in with, and those profits that are coming in. Be respectful of the market. We'll talk to you soon. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader.